What they're doing in Texas is to pit black politicians against each other. And you're trying to divide their seats so they have less voting power.
Trump out there DICK swinging. Democratic Party, y'all better get off your ass and play dirty.
We as black people blew this up. We should have just let this basic ad from this basic company go away.
If you want to get into politics
Yeah.
you want to talk about you're fighting for the people, really fight for the people.
You have
see,
to.
Stop this pony show.
And we did over 150 in July
Congratulations.
pre-orders, which I am thankful for. I want to thank all my supporters, all my people.
Welcome back to the Black Summit. I'm Brooks.
I'm Hendrix.
And I'm Veronica Pearson.
And yeah, she's back again. She
Like
said,
the clips?
Yeah. She said, she said, say that shit again to my face. I'm back. So she back. How you doing, Miss Dr.
I am
Pearson?
well. Thank y'all for having me again, in the Black Summit podcast that I
Thank
see
you.
blowing
That's
up, keeping it black and real.
Man. Glad you here to bless us with your presence once again.
I like you guys. That's why I come back.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. So what we looking like today?
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about Texas. Right now, Governor Abbott is actually trying to put the Democrats in his house in jail, basically. He has warrants out for their arrest, but apparently he doesn't really have that power. So we're going to be getting into that. We're also going to be talking about the Sydney Sweeney ad that just keeps on giving. Trump
It needs
now,
to go. It needs to just go away.
Yeah, Trump now is saying that it's a great ad, and he likes the ad a lot better because somebody found out somehow that she was a registered Republican.
Yeah,
So,
in Florida.
yeah, they leaked it. All right. So we're going to be talking about that. And we're also going to be talking about Trump firing his Labor Department head, or actually the head of statistics, actually. And the fallout with all of that and, just the tariffs. A lot of people have been making a lot of claims about those things. So we'll also be talking about that. And if we have time, we'll talk about Stephen A. Smith versus Michelle Obama. He's going at it. He's had it with her.
When irrelevant people have it with you.
and also Obama. So we'll be talking about that. But yeah, first I want to talk about what's going on in Texas. I have a couple of clips that I'm going to play here. This is from the Philip DeFranco show.
In response to Texas pushing forward with trying to redraw their districts. Right, in Texas, Democrats have left the state, blocking them from passing new gerrymandered districts, or in plain English, they're trying to block them from stealing the election. Because understand, it is not normal for a state to redraw their congressional districts in the middle of the decade in order to try to steal an election. Texas has now issued warrants for the lawmakers. The Texas Democrats posting on social media a graphic that says, "Come and take it," above a cannon from the Alamo. Pritzker will be ignoring the Texan warrants and says he'll not be extraditing them. Also, every day the Texas Dems aren't there, they'll have to pay at least $500, which they'll be paying using donations. Also, J.B. Pritzker, the billionaire governor of Illinois, is reportedly handling the logistics for them. Most of the Texan Dems in Illinois, but some they're also in New York. Right, Abbott currently lacks the authority to remove the Democrats from their seats, with independent observers saying that the Texas Dems might actually succeed in blocking the redistricting so long as they stay out of state until at least December. Right, and all of this playing out as you had a California Republican proposing a bill today to ban all redistricting nationwide until 2030, saying that it's becoming a war. Which, yeah, I mean, it is. If Texas redistricts to eliminate Democrats from the state, then California, New York, Illinois, and Maryland, they're also going to redistrict, eliminating Republicans from their states. And so all of this, it feels like the positioning for the endgame, with Democrats being forced to follow in the steps of Republicans. Though Texas, they could technically still de-escalate and stop from trying to essentially steal an election. Follow to stay in the loop. New York's governor...
All right. So there you go. Yeah, they're basically just trying to... I mean, we've heard about this kind of stuff for years, but now it seems like the Republicans are getting more aggressive about it. And especially under Trump. So what are you guys' thoughts on these?
Well, it's not for years. So this happened in North Carolina where I lived last year. And that's what people aren't getting. And I think one of the state representatives from Texas, and I don't want to mess her name up, it was an attorney, black lady with blonde short hair.
Yeah.
And she was saying how, and she happened to mention it. So this happened with us in North Carolina. Well, we had Tricia Cotham and her mom, and I've been on her mother's campaigns. Her mother was like a 25 plus Democrat, ride hard for North Carolina. So of course she came up and got a lot of credibility from her mother's name. So, you know, a lot of people rode with her, rally, everything else. She got elected and she flipped. And she became a Republican. That's how Republicans took the supermajority, because of her flipping last year. And so that allowed the Republicans to try to redistrict North Carolina, is what they did too. So we had, right after the election, we had Republicans try to take power from our governor and our attorney general. They were in court. Some of us still in court right now. So I have an issue with that flipping mess, because it shows you the snake's already planted. So I'm like, you just happen to flip right when you got elected, and you used, you know, let's be real, you use your mother's momentum, and you coming in as a Democrat to get elected and flip, and all they've been doing is trying to keep it ever since. So I applaud what Texas is doing. I was like, because you have to stand up, because this is what they're doing. And it's no different than what they did back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and so forth. It's redistricting and rezoning, because they did it in North Carolina, which they're doing in Texas, is to pit black politicians against each other, and you're trying to divide their seats so they have less voting power. So this is just another way of stripping black people and brown people from voting. That's all it is. It's like, let's steal on a bigger level so we don't have to worry about it come the election time. So yeah, it happened in North Carolina. So that's what they're doing. So I hope they get the law passed, but Democrats have to be more aggressive. Like, they can't play like, oh, let me share the ball. No, they got to take the ball and deflate the bitch. That's just real talk right now, because they're stealing every which way they can. In your face with it. Yeah. So that's the way I feel. I think they're doing the right thing. Hold out. And it's sad, because they got to be in their districts to try to help their people. But at the same time, now you got to go around and hide, so you don't say you're in the state to get served papers and everything else to show up. That's the sad part, is that these constituents are being harmed, you know, because their people are not there. You can still email them and things like that. And I tell, you know, advocate for people to do that. Tell your Democratic constituents what you're looking, how you riding behind them, email them. You can still get in touch with them. But understand what they're doing. It's a bigger picture. They're going to play this across the whole board if we let them.
So they left so they can block the vote, right?
Yeah.
I think they took a page right out of the Republican book. Didn't the House Speaker did almost the same thing?
Walked out.
Dismissed them so they can block the vote on voting for the Epstein files?
Yeah.
So they're taking a page right out of the Republican books. And I'm all for this tactic. If they're playing bully tactics, you use bully tactics back. You can't it got to the point now Democrats can't even be bipartisan now, because Republicans are not being bipartisan, and they're not playing bipartisan. And they've been showing they haven't been doing that for a long time. And they don't care to be bipartisan. Yeah. You know, so I think this is the only way the Democrats are going to actually get some things done. You're going to have to fight fire with fire. If they get dirty, damn it, what everybody else say, you got to get in the mud and get down there and get dirty with them.
You go to the ground, I go to hell.
Exactly. they get on the floor. Yeah. You get on the floor with them. You roll right around here with them, and hopefully you can put their ass in a chokehold. So I think this is a good tactic of what they're doing. Like she said, you know, it's to hold back the minority, the minority voters and things like that. And come on, you already know how Texas is. Yeah. You know, the Lone Star State, you already know what time.
And I think the community advocates need to play a bigger part, and the politicians. Get down there and tell your constituents what they're doing. Send them out emails. Don't just send me out emails soliciting Cohen's. Send me out emails telling me what you're doing, how you fighting, how we can be part of it. Do we need to sign? Do we need to march? Do we need to add, voting groups? Do we need to go out like how Stacey Abrams did it and killed it? You know what I mean? Yeah. When it came to registering people to vote, or registering people to be behind your bills, behind your legislation, because it's not voting. People think, oh, we voted them and they didn't do a job. You didn't stand behind pushing them. Yeah. The people you got to keep your foot on a lot of these politicians' necks. Say, hey, remember what we did? Remember what we talked about? You got to show up at their doing things. You got to let them know them in your face. So I think a lot of people need that to say, we're here behind you. Do that community organization. These Jasmine Crocker shouldn't be the only voice coming out. And that's my thing with the Democrats. Like, it can't just be the women talking and loud, and it can't just be Cory Booker crying with every movie of the week, every damn week. And I was like, because you serving no purpose, sir. It's like, but that's what I'm saying is like, they have at this point, you have to show the other side of the Bible. You can't be that meek thing. You forgot God was wrath all day long. See, we like that loving stuff, and it's okay. But you have to play the positions you are right now for your people that voted you in. I didn't vote you in there to get run over. Voted you in there to represent me. Yeah. That was the whole thing about Tricia Cotham pissing people off, because it was like, we voted you in as a Democrat, and you flipped on us and became a Republican. That's not how you got in here. you know, and then screwed us over in North Carolina because of that.
And that probably was the whole intent the whole time.
That was the whole intent.
To run on that ticket, you know. Probably the district where she was at is predominantly Democrat.
Yeah.
Some will run that way and then flip on you. That's typical politician
Why did she
tactic.
flip though?
No,
What happened?
she's saying, oh, you know, I felt that they, you know, they had a better stance against certain things. They had them same stances when you was running.
Yeah.
Why didn't you run then as a Republican? Because the Republicans had the same stances regarding, you know, they try to get you on that moral vote, the, you know, LGBTQ or abortion, stuff like that, or finances. I said the Republicans are pushing for decades how fiscally responsible they are. And every time a Republican is office, we're in a deficit every single time since Reagan. You know, but they run on that lie and narrative, and so that's what she did. I'm like, you could have changed parties when you were running.
Yeah.
You didn't have to wait till you got elected.
It always go back to that old moral. Don't believe what they say, believe what they do.
And that's what enough people don't. But you know, that's how you get people nowadays with their moral fiber, because that's how they're getting a lot of the Republicans in these rural areas, which is sad because they're the ones suffering. When you canceling NPR and you're canceling public radio, that's those small businesses that were advertising through those things. Now they don't have the advertising budget to be able to afford these bigger things. Now you already barely had rural areas that had fiber optics, cable, satellite, anything like that to get them news. That was the only way of knowing. But the dumber they keep you, the better you are to follow what they're leading you to. And that's the whole thing. So they get the rule, oh, what about your moral fiber? I can't eat. Why are you worrying about somebody having an abortion if it ain't you? You know, why are you worrying about somebody changing to a man, to a woman, if it's not you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But and that's how they get them. It's like, worry about your moral fiber, then the bigger picture of being there for your fellow man. Lead a certain life, and maybe you have people change decisions. But that's how they get them. They don't feed them. They strip them. They don't give them jobs. They bring in, you know, data centers in it that's poison in their water, and you don't have the way of getting that information to you, do you? Because you got the Republicans running these rural areas, and they're stripping away all the mechanisms to get you information.
And what's so sad, if you ever sit and talk to one of these people in these rural areas, they belief in politics is really based in conspiracy.
Yeah.
It's never really based on any fact. Well, if it was based on fact, they wouldn't think the way they think. But a lot of times, I notice it's always based in a lot of conspiracy stuff. A lot of conspiracy stuff.
Because if you run confusion, you don't need truth.
Yeah.
And just keep them confused. And that's what they do. They keep them confused. And they the same way, remember when they did enslave people, they gave you that little piece of Bible that was this big and left out all other stories. That's all they do to them. Yeah. And that's the sad thing. It's nothing new. If you learn history, that's their whole reason of getting rid of history. This is the same playbook they've been running. None of this is new. Gerrymandering, redlining, none of this is new if you know history. The problem is people keep doing the same stupid thing.
Same thing. Yeah, because it's not history, it's his story. So that's what they're giving you, his story.
Ugh.
I think they're trying to get back to what America was.
Right. You know how great that was.
That's how
great that was.
That's what they're
That's
trying
how
to
great
get
it was,
back
right?
to.
And what would that be? 1950? What, Jim Crow
Anything
era?
before,
Red line
anything
era?
before civil rights.
Yeah, everything
No,
before that,
technically,
right?
anything probably before the emancipation.
Right.
Right.
And they mine.
Yeah.
And they're mine. Anything before
That's
emancipation.
when America was great, huh?
Hello.
But for who?
Right, because you know how majority of white people was broke then
Yeah.
too. So people make you think that they had all these wealthy white people from the cotton. Them white people was broke as hell.
Until
during
they
that
got
time.
reparations.
The only people that were making a lot of money were like the plantation owners.
Yep, the
Yes.
tobacco
Yeah,
farmers, the
'cause
cotton
they
farmers.
got reparations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they lost their free labor.
They got reparation, right? The poor white people didn't get nothing.
Of course.
You
You
still
know what
right.
they got? One day you can be like us.
Yeah.
Just keep on working.
But they still sell it now. Remember
Yeah,
the
yes,
conversation
of
we had
course.
prior?
That is
They-
the American dream.
Yeah,
That is the
they
American
sell it.
dream.
They sell it to
Yeah.
black people. They sell it to white people. They sell it to any other nationality that is, like, I'll say, not above a certain level of economic status.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you keep riding for me as a rich man, and you know one day you gonna be here. So don't let them tax me. Because, you know, when you get here, that means they're going to tax you.
Right.
Don't expect nothing from no black celebrity or black person to do anything because, you know, one day I'm going to be a black person.
Yeah.
So I don't want them expecting nothing from me. You know, that's the thought process.
That's what it is. Do not unionize.
Oh, yeah.
Don't unionize. Don't strategize. Leave it to the employee. We will take care of you.
Because every time we seen somebody stand up for anything, black or white, in America, and they got unalived, it was always about money. It was always about freeing or giving poor people power.
Yeah.
It was never about who you singing and song and dancing to and what you bringing, you know, messages as far as love and kumbaya. It was always about the money. Is when they took them out.
And that's why I always say, Y'all can sit there, and I mean, not knocking them, but those are old ways. You can hold hands and march and sing all you want.
Kumbaya.
They don't give a damn about none of that stuff.
Look,
You know what I'm saying? When you come after the money, that's why the Alabama bus boycott was one of the most successful boycotts on this planet that we call the United States of America, because they got into the pockets of the people. So when they did all those riots, that's when after George Floyd, right? The biggest protesting everywhere. They started burning down their buildings. And they said, well, why y'all destroying y'all community? And a young lady said, hell, we don't own that. They got insurance. That's their shit.
but see, that
You know,
that's the
so-
thing that we gotta look at. And also, when you look at segregation and integration, I talked about this in my book. It was like, it messed us up because they saw the money in getting us on their side.
Yeah.
We didn't realize the psychology behind us leaving would say, oh, I'm a fight to prove I'm worthy by making your white self take my black dollar. You remember, you know what I mean? That's literally their mindset, and that's how they took all the money out their community. So they didn't, integrate you because they were, loving on you and benevolent. They did it because money was involved. And that's how they played in our face, and we played ourselves as well. So when you look at them even talking about in Texas, once again, it's to control the narrative, because if I'm able to divide these districts, I'm able to pull money from these districts. Because it's amazing me how many wealthy districts, and a lot, even the blue states, even the blue Democratic states, why are you still trying to pull money from underfunded neighborhoods? Why are you still trying to divide the money? So my thing is, you not wanting all the taxes pulled out of your money to send your child to this nice little Christian or upscale school and these nice little brick and beige stores that you have here and this kind of, gated community you have. You're still pulling money out of underfunded neighborhoods to do this. You get what I'm saying? So the greed is just ridiculous on so many levels. But a lot of black people don't fight. You know what I mean? And that's when you give somebody your victory before it even happens. And that's the problem with it. Like, you have to put in the work. You got to stop playing these games.
And it was so sad. That's true. Like, some of these underprivileged areas, and I'm probably gonna get some flack for this. They're underprivileged, but they'll have like about 4 or 5 churches.
Yeah.
And they always know to rally at the church, right? And like you said, the black people won't fight because they have been taught, oh, the battle's not yours, it's the Lord.
The Lord.
I'm like, the Lord is not going to physically come down here and put on some gloves. You will say that, but at the same time, you will say, if you witness to somebody, oh, I'm the vessel.
Yeah.
Be the vessel and fight.
Yep.
Be the vessel and fight, It's just like, it's unfortunate when people, unalive, if a child get unalive, right? And if someone did it, whether it be a cop or whoever, right? My mentality is this: can we push death penalty for that, for whoever? Even though I know they will never do it, but I that's my mentality, And I'm sure anybody, if you lost your child, that's what I would push for.
Yeah, you ain't got to worry about the justice system.
You see what I'm saying? Exactly. And they'd be like, well, let the Lord have it. I'd be like, no, the Lord gonna handle it through me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the
I'm
vessel.
vengeance.
Exactly. He said, vengeance is mine. And
And didn't God say you his child?
Exactly.
Didn't God say he operate through you? Okay.
And you know what's so crazy? That same scenario will happen, right? Let's say if that happened to this young lady right here. Her child, oh, don't let the Lord take care of it. He said, vengeance is mine. Now let's say somebody else go and take out that same person. See, I told you the Lord was going to handle it. Well, he could have did it to me.
Yeah, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Because I'm the angel at the Garden of Eden, even with the damn flaming sword.
We
That's
are
me.
the vessel.
I know myself. But that's the thing, when you think about it, when you think about the churches and all that, I said people give up their power that God endowed them with. And this is my belief. Your belief can be in Buddha, Allah, whatever. I said my belief is in God. I say God endowed us with the power to shift. That's why your brothers keep it. That's why he caused, wars. How many wars did God start in the Bible or told you to go do? Because I got you. You already won. I'm giving you this power. But we talk about a lot of the love when it comes to the Bible, which is a big message in the Bible. But he also only say, defeat them in it. Because I'm telling you to fulfill your purpose. But a lot of them, that's my problem with a lot of the black people. They put a lot of emphasis on God handling it when God has told you, you are my child. I need you to walk as me. Love one another, serve, be there for one another. And you better do what you got to do. And that's the way I feel. Now, everybody might not agree with me, but it's like that vengeance is mine. I was like, even if you say I'm going to forgive, because the worst thing some of these black people do for me is when somebody like they child up, their mom up, and they was like, well, I forgive you because I don't want that on my heart, okay, because it'll destroy me. But please believe I ain't forgetting nothing,
Right.
you know. But we have all this money that's going on in these churches, and they are not, in my opinion, I've seen some churches do great work. Those are the churches I give to. When they have, you know, rehabilitation programs for drug offenders, or they got, you know, entrepreneurship programs, computer classes, daycare, different things like that. They're taking that money and serving.
And some even go as far as teaching you financial literacy too. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, but when you're not doing nothing with your money.
Nah, when you just taking.
They're worse than the banks, because how many banks are in certain black communities? You got 3 and 4, they don't lend no money.
Yeah.
The church was supposed to be your original stop. So even if the church is sitting there, and I think that was a problem to a lot of black churches, even though the black church was your political hub, just like white churches were, black people didn't really emphasize, I think, the racial component and after the 60s. They didn't emphasize enough of the racial component, the systematic component. They was just like, yeah, you know, we supporting this person. They let you come speak at the church. But they didn't emphasize the psychological behind the systematic racism, behind what was going on with the bank loans, because they didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? You had these same black pastors that were getting the same loans we were getting. You know, they were part of the same voting system we were part of. They didn't see behind the so-called iron veil. And so I think that's what we got to give that up at this point right here. Like how these Texas people ride, we need to ride with them. Regardless if you feel like, okay, the Democrats ain't shit. It's just what it is. Whether you independent, which I am, I vote for whoever going to rock out and do what I need them to do. You right now better stand behind your people, because these Republicans telling you, okay, you want to talk about Palestine? They don't care. So if I'm over here getting starved out, real talk, if I'm over here getting starved out, the little bit of money I'm sending to these organizations to try to support them, I'm going to have to stop. So you better understand the bigger picture feeds into the one in your neighborhoods as well and starts out.
Yeah.
All right, so look,
Democrats need to all Democrats need to take a page out of these Democrats in Texas book.
Look.
You know,
they definitely need to get the Democrats need to get themselves together.
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
when I look at all these people, when I look at all these people, you know, for years they've been in power multiple times and they haven't done nothing.
Man, you see how old they took a picture of all the Republicans. I said, look at these old jokers, and they're literally holding on.
But not only the Republicans.
No, I'm not even
Democrats.
talking about this. Yeah, I said old Republicans. I'm looking at these people.
They've been in power
like,
for so long, and nothing big legislation-wise has happened for black people.
What?
For how many years?
Let's
be honest.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
So I ask this question all the time. I know I'm gonna get some flack. What is the Black Caucus doing?
They ain't doing shiz.
What are they doing?
But see, I'm gonna tell you,
say it for the people in the back, so they can hear you.
One of the people.
What are they doing?
We had this conversation about the Black Caucus and all the stuff like that, and I tell them, I said, the main thing people keep failing to understand:
real quick.
lobbyist money.
Oh, you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lobbyist money. People fail to understand. I'm sorry. Lobbyist money. So if you go to, it's a website called darkmoney.org. Right?
I heard
Love that website. Yeah. So now Trump will probably try to change it, but they had to list what money all Republicans receive from where. Like if you got it from, you know, Airgas, which is a big chemical company, did they pay? Yeah, who they paid, right? So you go to that website. So you'll see everybody have their own lobbyists, their own organizations. So they give us money out of the civil rights or civil liberties organization. That's between the LGBT split that, the Jewish community split that, Native Americans split that, Black people, all that split that. Now, mind you, with that pile, you still got Jewish people got AIPAC, which is a $3 billion doggone lobbyist company. Why you think all these laws keep getting passed to Jewish? Now they got to teach your kids Jewish classes even more in these colleges because of Trump's settlement, extortion scheme that they're doing, okay? So they got almost a $3 billion pact, okay? They got their own money. The LGBTQ got their own money. The Native Americans even got their own money. And they still pulling from the same one we got. We don't do enough grassroots funding. And just real quick to jump on that, this is what I had a meeting a couple months ago regarding what we're looking at doing. And they had like the NAACP and their Farrakhan's people, all us in this meeting in Marietta, Georgia, right? And I was like, we miss grassroots. Because see, we got too lazy with relying on corporations and government grants to fund your nonprofit, this organization, this Pell Grant. When we built Black Wall Street, when we got through Jim Crow, when we got through enslavement, when we built all of these Black organizations, we did it with grassroots. I was getting $5 here, $5 here, $5 here. You see what I'm saying? From Black people, and we built that. White people wasn't handing us no money like that. And I said, so we got lazy when they said, oh, you know what? Let's try to fix what we did to black people, even if it's a tax write-off. Let me give this money here to these organizations. So they stopped fundraising like they did. When last time you received something from the NAACP, the Black Caucus, saying give us $20 a month towards this organization building this? The NAACP might have, a couple thousand people on their Instagram page. So we got to get back to funding us. So we don't have no money. They got big lobbyists fighting tobacco industry. Why do you think those places were open when Trump messed us up and we were in that pandemic? The laundromats were open because Trump, main attorney, was the lobbyist for taking the lobbyist money for them. Who had the damn tobacco place? They were all open because they hired his person who was his lawyer.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's all lobbyists. The Black Caucus right there sitting there with us in kente cloth and shit.
So in other words, you said no pun intended, but they need more boots on the ground.
They do. You need to, you need to be willing to be the person in the room who brings the elephant. How am I supposed to shrink myself as a black woman when I'm the elephant in the room?
Yeah. Didn't that what Obama stood on, but not taking a lot of corporate dollars?
Yeah,
He didn't take
and that's why. But why do you think the Republicans
Quickly on
started
that, 'cause we
changing
gotta move.
the voting laws? Remember, he raised all his money through grassroots effort. So Republicans started changing all the voting laws. They started closing out all the DMVs that was in rural areas because they was like, oh, damn, he changed the game up. He went straight to the people, and that's how he outraised them and still won. Yeah. It can be done, but people don't want to do it. They're too lazy. Right. It's easy to take a check.
It is easy, right? All right, so we're gonna move on. Sydney Sweeney, her ad with American Eagle has
we kill
gone
this? Can
crazy.
it die?
A lot of people. I mean, it's become a right versus left issue. I mean, at this point, like before, it was kind of like, okay,
it was just
they were just talking. Yeah, well, it started off as
Right.
just an ad, and then it turned into a eugenics thing, and everybody's talking about like Hitler and all these other people. So, and now, you have Trump coming out and saying that he liked the ad, and he thinks it's a great ad, and so now he's like tweeting about it. Well, he's Truth. What do you call it? Truth Social.
Truth Social.
He's putting it on Truth Social and all this other stuff, and so. I want to play this clip that kind of breaks it down because he also had something to say about Taylor Swift. So here we go.
Swipe at Taylor Swift. Donald Trump has doubled down on his support for Sydney Sweeney after hearing
she's a registered Republican? Oh, now I love her ad.
in a post he made to Truth Social, he called the ad the hottest ad out there. But this isn't where it ends, because he also went after Taylor Swift, saying that he can't stand her, calling her a woke singer and saying that she's no longer hot. And he wasn't done there, as he turned his attention towards businesses that have adopted woke messaging in their advertising, using Bud Light and Jaguar as examples, while claiming that American Eagle jeans are flying off the shelf, then declaring that the tide is changing and that wokeness is for losers. President
All right. Is wokeness for losers,
Look, when you steal it, such as what they've done, and they don't even know the true definition of what woke meant.
Yeah, they don't.
So I don't even play into that mess with the Republicans and all of them, because they keep showing you how y'all can't be original for nothing.
Yeah.
You got to co-op, you got to steal. What do I talk about in the book? And I'm going to keep referencing that book. Black people make things popular, white people make them profitable. Simple as that. You couldn't even steal your own slogan. You couldn't even create it. Yeah, I feel we need to let this die.
Okay, yeah. What did you think of the ad? Like your initial thoughts of the ad?
For me, as a person in this industry, so I looked at it, I was like, okay, bet. But I also understood the play on it, because I'm in these rooms and you got to look at all your variables when you're shooting an ad, when you're creating a treatment, what you're trying to say. I got what they were trying to say, but someone in that room, they knew exactly what the reference would also entail. Now, especially if they had anyone like my age or older in that room. You understood what played on that. Everybody in that room wasn't no 20-something-year-old, you know what I mean, making that marketing decision. So the older ones understood what could that be a play on. Now, somebody might say, oh, you know what, y'all reading into it too much. They're not going to think like that, you know what I mean, and let it go. But I feel one of the things that the issue with this, and I'm like, we as Black people blew this up. Real talk.
Yes.
We blew this up, and we should have just let this basic ad from this basic company go away. We took, because we saw the little nuance thing that they were talking about, and it was there. We got it. But us talking about it as anything we do, because we built the internet pretty much. You know, it's got to popping and took off, right? And, you know, American Eagle did say this wasn't about eugenics. This was about, you know, genes. Of course they're going to say that because they're like, damn, we not trying to alienate people that can buy our stuff when American Eagle ain't been hot since when? Like, they stock market ain't even seen this since 2000. Okay, I'm being honest. But I think for Sydney Sweeney more so, this is dangerous territory for her. And this is what I mean by that. So as a person who, like I said, in this industry, those marketers and her PR people telling her to be quiet. They like, let it play out because they couldn't have bought this much free publicity she's gotten. Millions. People, how many people Google Sydney Sweeney in the past year until this happened? Real talk. So now she has all this marketing, all this drive. So when her movies come out and everything, but what you do is you have people like Trump, you got people like J.D. Vance, you have people like Ted Cruz tying your name with things like Israel, tying your name as the cultural icon, tying your name to white supremacy. Subliminally. So you might want to try to distance yourself. Even if you don't say anything outright, you be like, hey, I'm not for that. Yes, okay, so what if she's a registered Republican? Who cares? Rock out. But you better find some kind of way to in a healthy way, distance yourself because they're tying her to this narrative. And that's what's going to stick with her. Every time somebody search her, every time her movies come out, they're going to be like, oh, she was this white icon like the billboards back in the day. So her people telling her to be quiet is understandable, but they need to put something up because now her narrative is being told by these people.
Well, okay, so Sydney Sweeney, she already had hate. People already hated her, okay, because, you know, she kind of got famous off her body.
But, you know, I liked her in one of her, a couple, like, she had a movie I liked her in. No, I didn't watch her in Euphoria. My daughter, I liked her in The Voyeurs. That movie was fire.
Oh, okay,
So,
I
you know
haven't
what I'm
seen
saying?
that.
Yeah, that was a good movie. So I give her props in that.
She did come out and say something. She made a comment below a post, and she kind of just said that wasn't the original intention of the ad.
Because she probably wasn't even thinking that far ahead. She's like, man, I'm just getting a check.
But people hate her already. They hated her so much that's why this ad, you know, they were just waiting for her to make a little misstep.
But see, it was white people not liking her because of the body thing. Black people didn't even care about that.
I think the black people cared about it.
No, I'm going to tell you what, Sydney Sweeney it wasn't even black people's radar, for real, unless you watch Euphoria.
Yeah, a lot of black people watch Euphoria.
But she wasn't in there for her body because at the end of the day, you gonna make money off your body, own that. That's what she did. Like, hey, y'all coming to see these? Like, you know, they was making Sydney Sweeney like she the baddest chick around here. But I was like, hey, go off, girl. So, and it was like a blip. They might have mentioned it like a couple times on the ticket, and it was gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think the bros, like, you know, made her
the
famous.
red pill ones.
It probably was a lot of them, because, you know, I remember when she wasn't famous, and I used to watch her all the time. And so, like, you know, I watched her in a lot of different movies because, you know, I watch a ton of movies. You know, I didn't really think about the perspective that you were thinking about as a creative. And, you know, when you look at it from a creative standpoint, the American Eagle ad could have happened to anybody. Because
that could have happened to anybody Caucasian.
Remember what they were drawing off of. They were drawing off of the Brooke Shields ad that had happened before. Do you know how many times I've, like, when I'm trying to, like, put something together, I'm like, okay, what happened in the past? Like, what can I draw from? You know, like, what's that book? Still Like a, I can't remember. Still Like a Good Liar. I can't remember what the book's name is. But, you know, it's kind of like the Quentin Tarantino thing where you just, like, you know, take little things from little things.
Because nothing is new.
And so, like, I mean, when you look at the Brooke Shields ad, it's very close to what was going on with the American Eagle ad. And so, I mean, like, I can see how they could have made a mistake like that and not really thought that in this time, you know, that
somebody in that room thought it. They just didn't think it would be that bad.
You know, pre-woke, like, I feel like a lot of people did things that they aren't proud of today. And they're still trying to erase. Because there was a period of time when things were just okay. Like, you could do certain things. It doesn't mean that, like, they were okay, but I mean, like, nobody. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I still stand on that.
That's what I'm saying.
What
do you say?
I like that movie. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's what I'm saying.
It was funny.
Yeah, I like it.
But, you know, like, now, if you do blackface, you're in trouble and you're canceled and you're done. So, I mean, like, there were certain things that were accepted. And I think that we're trying to erase that history of things because, listen, the woke movement is coming and kind of taking over that, Listen, I'm not a Trump fan, but I can agree that, like, I think people have woke fatigue.
But who did
They're
that?
done with that.
But and that's the thing I think gets on my nerve when they would talk about black fatigue, and
Okay.
because it was never us. This whole pushing that, well, like we were pushing it more from the political thing out, and it was between black people, like, hey, we aware, saying we're aware of what's going on. We're not sleeping anymore to systematic racism. That's what woke meant for us. White, bigoted, racist people co-opted that word, and they are the ones draining us from it. I said, remember the white liberal feminist movement, and all that
That's
stuff
what
like
I
that.
was gonna say.
They go in, they grab hold of something like the BLM movement, the Me Too movement, all of these things, and they drain the significance from it. And then they look at us like, oh, now nobody's hearing the true message, because that's what the J.D. Vance and the Trumps them did. They took that word woke, they co-opted and destroyed what it meant. And so when we're saying we got fatigue, it's them. And I appreciate the white people who trying to, be allies and all that and come for the people, come for their own
We
people.
need them.
Yeah, go get them. I say, but between them and then you have the bigoted ones using it, that's what's the fatigue. It's not even us, it's them. They were the ones running the Sydney Sweeney in the hole. We gave it legs as far as us, but white people like, oh, yeah, the eugenics, they're pumping it hard trying to prove I'm here for y'all. And I get that, but you're tiring the message out. But that's what pisses me off for me. It's like you take what is ours and what's meant to move needles forward, and you distort it, you destroy it, you drain it of all its power, and then want to throw it back in our face like it was something negative. No, you did that. You turned that. And that's what the whole thing with her. It's like it was a jeans ad, but somebody in that room knew what it would do. And they let it go, which is fine. And I think we let stuff go because we, back in the day, so to speak, of letting things go, it's because like we okay, we understood the intent more behind it. You know what I mean? Like just to bring up the Tropic Thunder thing, we understood the intent of that actor and the character and what they were playing behind it. Just like when they used the R word, and now you can't use that word.
Exactly.
I said, but when somebody's mentally disabled or something. And so it's like
they're trying to bring it back.
Yeah.
Too.
So you can't use that word. But here's the thing. I understand words change as we learn different things, so I get that part of it. But it's like all you're gonna do now is make the next word bad.
Yeah.
All you're gonna do is make the next word. So that's what I say.
I was watching this video recently, and this girl was talking about she's a leftist, she's a Democrat, and she was talking about how this is one of the main reasons why the Democrats lost is because they love to find these gotcha moments and then cancel you. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of people felt like, they were being canceled. Mm-hmm. And so, when that happens, a lot of people's reaction is to go for the people who are for them, not the people who are trying to ridicule them and go after them. And I think a lot of that did happen. And, I know just people that I know personally, the second that I said anything about Joe Biden, people went after me and called me a Trump supporter, called me all kinds of stuff. And it's like, just because I told the truth about what was going on, and you know how it was true? Because later on people, Joe Biden had problems. But at the time when everything was happening, nobody wanted to say anything. Yeah. Everybody was kind of like, oh, you're this and you're that. And that kind of stuff happens. And so, anyways, go ahead.
But I feel like I'll be the devil's advocate when I say this of why. That's an issue to a certain point. We all should live in a moral high compass space. Republicans don't do that. And so the problem with us pointing out flaws or not accepting you when you say something slick and we cancel you off one thing, it's because we're looking at the Republicans will let you lie, steal, cheat, kill, damn near pedophile, everything. And they still welcome them back into the fold. They still ride with them. They still do that because demonic behavior is demonic behavior. They're not looking to correct anything. So the issue, and it's not even an issue, is when Democrats say, okay, you said something bad, we got to cancel you because you're going against the moral fiber. And I put that in quotations. You're going against the moral fiber. That's where the cancellation comes. What I feel is we need to give each other grace, but at the same time, we need to say, okay, we still need you to ride behind. Even though we know this is what's going on, we need you to ride right now because we ain't looking at that shit. We're not worried about that right now. Right now, big picture, end game. And that's what the Republicans do. They look at the end game. They can't stand that, man. They can't stand each other.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But they sitting there like, okay, we all foxes in this hen house. Let's rob together. And they're robbing big time. They're not questioning their moral compass. And that's a sad thing. But that's when I see, so when we canceling people too quick, now we should forget, like you telling the truth is the truth is the truth. But at the same time, I think we need to preface it. Like me, I was like, I had issues with bias. Like, yeah, you should have stepped down this time so they could have marked this time. But we still riding for, the Democratic Party. That's how I preface it, to let you know, me saying this wasn't for me to ride the fence, because I saw too many, and I just talk about us. And I mean us as Black people. I saw too many big podcasters, big, celebrities, all the stuff. They rode that fence hard. And at the end of the day, if you really looked at what they were doing, they voted for Trump. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them podcast Black dudes voted for Trump. They just don't let you know they did. But you just pay attention to what they said, how they moved. And that's what I think people, the same way a lot of white guys did too, and white podcasters. So people were aware, like, you riding this fence for a reason. You trying to play devil's advocate, but you ain't even doing it enough where I don't see it. And I think that's the problem that people had. It's like, you got to still say, hey, I'm riding for us because I know that person over there is worse than this one. Even if I don't agree with everything Kamala Harris and the Democrats did, I'm like, okay, that person I have a better chance of surviving with. And I think we messed that up because a lot of people lost the bigger picture. And now, you know how many people I know who not got laid off who voted for Trump? Or who didn't vote at all? You know how many of them right now, they charges got hit with bills because they Pell Grants and their grants got cut. You know how many people I know right now trying to figure out their 401ks because they look like crap that voted for Trump or didn't vote at all because you missed the bigger picture. And that's why I tell people, as I vote a lot, and it doesn't even pertain to me half the time how I'm voting. But we got to stop playing as such moral high road and not understand, okay, it's going to be some little snakes in here. I can work with that white snake right there. I can't work with that Black one right there. So I think that's why people probably attack people for telling the truth sometimes. It's like, okay, now, we got enough of this. We trying to fight.
Yeah.
So it looked like dissension when it's not. It's just you was telling the truth. But like we all recognize game.
But my thing is that if you can't tell the truth when it's clear to see.
But no, when I say tell the truth, but I was like, I preface my truth with, I'm still riding. Because I would say stuff like, Biden should have stepped down. Because you see how the Republicans held on to the lie that Trump is cognitive and functioning. Okay, they held that lie. They still right now. Now they talk about we got some vein issues and all this other stuff. They rolled the lie out that this man was growing because his doggone doctor was like, oh, now he's 6'1". He was 6'2". I said, so he growing? You know what I'm saying? Then he was like, oh, he's healthy as anybody. When this man wear bigger suits to cover the fact that he's overweight like that. But they rolled that lie out. You see what I'm saying? When we're the truth bearers, we bring the truth, but say, hey, we still riding for our team. I ain't want this. I don't care if I have the people on this ticket, but I'm riding for this. That's how I carry stuff. So tell the truth.
I just look at people like Stephen A.
Oh my God.
He tells the truth. Or Bill Maher. He tells the truth.
What?
And people go after them.
Oh my God.
It's okay though.
Some people don't care about
It's
the
okay
truth.
though.
No. Look, you see that's why he laughed. That's why he laughed when he talked about Bill Maher, and he laughed when he talked about Stephen A. Smith. Because I remember back in the day, like Bill Maher, like I said, the age we remember Bill Maher. I said, I used to look at Bill Maher, and I said he was trying to be a knockoff George, what man named George Carlin. Yeah. And I was like, Bill Maher has lived long enough to prove he's exactly what people suspected he was. And then now you see he's exactly what he was preaching against and talking against. Because I remember when he was doing stand-up.
I don't agree with him on everything, but go ahead.
I was going when he was doing his stand. I'm not saying he wrong with every single thing he said. I'm not saying that. But he's exactly who he talked about in stand-up back in the day. Talked about when he first got his show. I said, now you see him right there, right with them little right-wing white men as who Bill Maher is. Stephen A. Smith. If I'm on it now, and this is me, I'm not one of them people that say if you're an athlete, celebrity, whatever, that you just stick to that. Because you're a human being, you vote, and you pay taxes. So you should talk. Why every time I'm tuning in, Stephen A. Smith talking about some shit that ain't got nothing to barely do with sports?
You should save that for his podcast?
Yeah, save that for his podcast. But he can't because people ain't gonna really watch. They tune in to ESPN hoping he say a point, come in, say something. Say something happened during the game. Because even he's had one of his hosts say that, like, hey, we need to get back to what we're here for is to talk about sports. But he goes on this tangent every time, like I'm a knock, even with the LeBron situation, we knew that wasn't like, man, sit down somewhere. Yeah. I said, he is paid, he's a disruptor. Stephen A. Smith to me is a disruptor. And that's exactly what he one of the ops that we keep letting back in the house. And that's all I can go on with him. I respect the man's game. He built himself up. Do what you got to do. But you ain't never going to see me say, okay, let's pick a team to go in this house and plan a mission with for Black people or build a mind. You ain't going to never see me pick Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
That's just reality.
But that's what ESPN hires them for.
Right.
You got to realize too.
They know who to do that for too.
You got to realize if you a sportscaster, right, and say you're talking about a previous game. I don't know how often you watch sports.
I watch every night.
I watch a lot of sports. If you say we got 3 shows. You got a show. You have a show. I have a show. Right. We talking about football, and then maybe college. Right. A few college games. It's mainly because you got but so much time. You got segment to highlight this and that and the third. Right. Once say I come on at 12 o'clock, I might stay there for 2 hours. Then you come on at 2, you come on at 4 o'clock, right? And in hindsight, we all gonna talk about the same damn thing. So they want you to put your personality. Now I might come on there and my show might be straight facts on sports. You might come on there and put your take on it from a woman's perspective or whatever. They want his personality. He might come on there and argue with somebody back and forth. Because at the end of the day, the facts don't change.
No.
Once I done told y'all and showed y'all the damn highlights and talk about this and this player that, what else y'all need to know?
Right.
You can come back and tell us the same damn thing again. So you got to put so that's what ESPN hires them for.
Yeah.
They go off on those
He
tangents.
swear he trying to be Andy
with
Rooney. He trying to be Andy Rooney. I was like, you are not Andy Rooney on 60 Minutes.
Do you agree with Michelle Obama, what she had to say about him being basically like Real Housewives?
Like a reality.
She actually didn't really say that.
Exactly. She didn't say
It was
it.
actually the other guy.
Yeah, her brother.
Oh, it was her brother?
Yeah, because that was on her podcast show.
Yeah.
So it's her and her brother.
So she didn't say anything
Yeah,
about
but see,
him,
and that's the thing. What I had an issue with it when I listened to Stephen's K, his girly rant that he had was the fact that you didn't even come after the person who said it. You mentioned Michelle, then you talked about her husband.
Yeah.
What Barack had to do with it?
That's
you know what I'm saying?
said.
I
That's
was
what I said,
like
too.
Barack had nothing to even do with that. I say then, like I said, Michelle didn't even say it. It was her brother that said it. Because they're not the draw. Her brother's not the draw. So in order to get you feeling like you're pulling attention, the same way when he came and talked about the LeBron situation, you talked about Michelle, you talked about Barack. When they didn't even say it, I was like, so this your attention of the week.
Yes, click.
He moving like Trick
Click.
Daddy. He moving like Trick Daddy right now.
Did he say that on his podcast? He said on ESPN.
No, he said on ESPN.
Yeah.
Oh, did you say it on ESPN?
And
Because that's what the clip you sent me. That was ESPN. That wasn't his podcast.
So in ESPN, they went with it.
Yeah.
Hey, this is good. Shit, it ain't news.
Look,
but
Stephen A. Smith, aka Trick Daddy.
Yeah, and then people going to clip it up and and we talking about it now. It's ESPN, let it ride. But I totally, when I heard it, I agree with you. I was like,
just
okay,
to make sure that was the clip you sent me.
yeah,
It was on ESPN.
if you want to address,
I'm not sure actually, but I think it was on his podcast. Go ahead.
Okay, well, go ahead and make sure
But
I'm
if
not
you want to
incorrect.
address what she said, that's one thing, right? But then you started going on about Obama and what he was saying for as black men voting for Kamala. I was like, what I got to do?
Right.
with-
I was like, bro, we like almost a year in from the election. But that's his thing is because he know who his handlers are. And I'm just being real with you. And I'm like, look, play your game how you got to play your game. But don't assume you playing in everybody's face and they don't see you a toy and a pawn.
And that's one thing about Stephen A. Smith. I've heard him say it on numerous of times, I have a boss.
Yeah.
He know who
Yeah.
brother
But there's a
his
difference
bread,
between we
so-
all have a boss
Yeah.
and we got a yes sir boss. That's two different that's two different things. Okay? And it gets to seem real, and it's sad to say this Sambo-ish. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I respect my man game. I respect how he built us. I used to watch Stephen Smith all through the years. But it's just seeing his decline into that, it's like, bruh, you talk way more about
Do you agree?
Well, that's what he wanted to do with his podcast.
Yeah.
And hold your question.
Go
Let me
ahead,
just
go ahead.
respond to
Go ahead,
to
go
Bill
ahead.
Maher, the Bill Maher hate, and also the Stephen A. hate.
I ain't even know it.
Listen,
I got to hate them.
Bill Maher was the only one that was right. Okay.
About what?
And
About
about all of
Biden?
it, about everything. Bill Maher's been right about a
what now?
lot
'Cause
of
you
things.
said everything. No.
Yeah, let me tell you.
Okay.
He's been right about Trump. He was the first person to say if you elect Trump, he is not going to stand down. He is going to try to stay in office.
Okay.
If he loses, he will not relinquish the office. And he was right about that.
No, I agree with him. He was right.
No,
Let me
did
just
he
talk.
say that in his first administration or the second? Or
He
this one?
said it in the first administration.
because I was watching him
before
with Killer
it
Mike, yeah.
actually happened.
Yeah.
You can go look up the clips. The man was right about all
No,
of that.
I said he was right about that because that was with Killer Mike and all of them. He was talking about
He was
Cornel
also
West. Yeah.
right about the liberals and how they were going to fall because he saw it before everybody else did.
Yeah, some of his
And now
points,
they
yeah.
hate him for it. They hate him because he's that crazy. You know,
Yeah.
he had said it. They're crazy about him now.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've written him off. They've called him MAGA. They've called him all this other stuff. And listen, you know, the case is there, right? Because he went to the White House. You know what I mean? Like he did all of that,
Yeah.
right? But the reason why I kind of like gravitate towards him is because I see what has happened.
No,
And everything he said that was going to happen did. And
Mm-hmm.
he has been telling these people for years. He's had them on his show,
Yep.
and he's talked to them. And so, like, for me, I go, okay, yes. And I've always been on that train where it's like, okay, it wasn't that the Democrats, it wasn't that he changed, it's the Democrats changed.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said no, because Bill Maher did
and
switch
so-
up some too now.
The fact that, well, I don't know. I think that
Last
the
I haven't with
Democrats,
Bill Maher since he been stand up comedian Bill Maher.
the Democrats have changed so
Yeah.
much. It's not even funny.
But I
And
tell you,
I don't
I
even
agree
know
with
who
you.
these people are anymore.
I agree
You know,
with
the
you, what you're
people that
saying.
I used to like. You know, like I'm like, who are you?
But I agree with somewhat what you're
and
saying.
it hurts me to see that all this stuff is true. Like them rigging the elections against, you know, Bernie. They rigged
Oh
that
Lord,
shit.
you a ride with Bernie.
We did not have a fair election. Okay, people have to be honest about
Mm-hmm. No,
this.
but see, when we're honest
So-
with it, Bernie wasn't honest, but like Bernie's people wasn't honest. The same way when Bill Maher's talking about too. Like I said, some parts of Bill Maher, I'll say I am 70-30 with Bill Maher. Okay? It's because I said I watch Bill Maher in real time. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm going to talk shit, I like do my research and be like, all right. So I agree. The things with the liberal, what happened is what he was saying is not only did they get soft, okay? So liberals got where every little third thing was hurting their feelings, but who liberals were that? It wasn't no black ones. You see what I'm saying? And so Bill Maher was speaking because he knew his people. You get what I'm saying? He knew what his people was. He knew how to, because he's in the room with his people. You get what I'm saying? I'm not just talking about no MAGA. I'm talking about his people. He's listening with his ear with his people. And he was like, y'all don't understand. Y'all got to fight these jokers because they're not coming at you with understanding. And then Bill Maher was also in the room with a lot of the people who were rich before Trump started running. They knew this man. They like, y'all don't understand. This man is not a good businessman. You watching TV shows. You don't see what we see. You're not in the rooms that we're in. And when the business people were telling America, what were they doing? Oh, they just don't want him to protect us. They lying. They literally brainwashed themselves. Even when Bill Maher was like, they don't believe it. Because he was even talking about the voters for MAGA. He was like, they are going to believe it because they want to attach this so much because he's being outrageous.
Trump knew the Southern strategy and he ran on it.
Because he said he was going to run as a Republican. He said because Republican
One last
people are
thing on
ignorant.
Bill Maher. There's a lot that I disagree with him on.
Yeah.
But I like that he tells the truth. And I feel like we have lost telling the truth, especially in the Democratic Party. They don't want to tell the truth about what's going on with AOC.
Yeah.
They don't want to tell the truth about what's going on with Bernie. They don't want to tell the truth about what really happened with Kamala. They don't want to tell the truth about what happened with Biden.
Yeah.
We have to start telling the truth. You're not going to win again until you start being honest with yourself. And they don't want to be honest with themselves.
I think
and
one
so
of the
that's
wrong-
why they will lose again, no matter who they put out, until they start to be honest.
But the honesty
you
comes with they
cannot
have
come
to
with
let
this
you know
performative shit.
that they are the same people they're fighting against. And see, this is like when you listen to the Amanda Seals and people think Amanda Seals be erratic. Now, I don't agree with
Amanda
every goddamn
Seals.
thing Amanda Seals roll out, but Amanda Seals be right a majority of the damn time. And it's like you don't want to get that. Unfortunately, a lot of the Democrats, a lot of the Caucasian, and I'm saying this nicely, a lot of Caucasian Democrats and a lot of the Caucasian Republicans are the same damn monsters. You get what I'm saying? So they don't want to admit you didn't back Bernie because you know Bernie wasn't backable to win. Because you didn't back Hillary.
was, though.
No, listen.
Go ahead.
Because I'm telling you, optics. You talking to somebody who work in this field when you're looking at branding and marketing. Optics. That's how Nixon lost to JFK is optics. Who look strong, who look like they can fight. That's why Trump always trying to carry this bravado. Because another country looking at him like, if you don't get the hell out of my face. You know what I mean? So it's the bravado. It's the image. So they knew Bernie wasn't going to carry it. Right? Never mind his policies, because they could have navigated and got around that. Real talk. They could have outvoted him, all that stuff like that. They knew, okay, AOC, you know, you got this darling person, but AOC moving right around who her people are, who the older Democrats are, how they towing that line. They all, because you see how they played your boy Mondami. He moving in some of them same sectors too, that he was all free with. Now you about to take a knee too. You see, they all at some point got to say, how bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough to lose it and maintain your integrity? The way they played in Kamala, because the real talk, they know their people, like I said with Bill Maher. Their people, yeah, they might have rallied behind Kamala because white women were looking at the fact that they were going to lose a lot of rights. You see what I'm saying? They're like, hey, we got to ride right now because we about to be Handmaid's Tale. Yeah. But they also knew white men wasn't going to go for it. And if they got enough black men on board, it was going to shift that conversation. They know the optics. They already know the optics.
Well, I'd say two things would disappoint me with the Democrat.
We is rude. Our phone was ringing.
I know. Yeah, y'all need to get it together. Your phone going off, her phone. Some dude blowing you up. Doctor. But two things.
I need my heart checked.
With the Democratic Party. I don't know if y'all remember when they came out and did their little campaign. It was Kamala spoke, and it was Clyburn. When they remember America isn't racist.
Yeah.
When they came out and said America, I said, oh, these.
Right. I was like, look at this pandering.
And they had, I know my buddy of mine named Clay used to be a constituent. He had worked under Clyburn. We go to Clyburn Fish Fry in Columbia, South Carolina. They know. And I saw Bernie. I saw Bernie. Yes, and I saw Bernie even speak in Columbia. We saw, as they call him, Sleepy Joe.
Yeah.
We saw him, right? And I was like, damn, they want this old dude. He even like walking to his car, like almost like comatose almost. But when they said America isn't racist, and Clyburn and had conversations about how behind closed doors, right? That's one bullshit move right there.
Yeah.
When the Republicans, like you said earlier, blatantly playing in your face, they don't give a damn. We want to do bans on Muslims. We want to get rid of brown and Haitians. Why are we getting people from shithole countries? They don't give a damn. They're letting you know what time it is verbatim. And it was another time when Biden could have got rid of the filibuster. So he could make fucking laws, things happen. But who was it? Sinema and Manchin. They
By the way, who put them in power?
I'm trying to think it was Manchin.
Who? Yeah, it was Manchin.
It was Manchin.
Okay.
Who put them in power though?
Who put them in power?
Nancy Pelosi. She picks the candidates.
Okay.
Not the American people.
Right.
She picks the candidates.
But
so let's be honest about this.
You could have got rid of the filibuster, and you even had Republicans saying, "Damn, boy," because that's when they had the Democrats. Well, at one time they had the House and they had the Senate, and still couldn't get shit done.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't get rid of the filibuster. And even Republicans saying, damn, boy, shit, boy, we almost got our ass handed to us. If it wasn't for Joe Manchin and Sinema, damn, they low-key one of us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I knew the fucking
playing,
Democratic Party.
That more BS.
When that happened, it's just like, you know, and then on their biggest campaign is go out and vote like your life depended on it.
Yeah. I need you to fight like my life depended on it.
When they're doing
That's
all
what
these
happens every
tactics.
time.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So,
but that's what we have to
right.
say. We got to use the same things. Like when we want to get rid of the filibuster. Because that the electoral college, that's how every Republicans have been the ones winning from the electoral college. Democrats have never had to use the electoral college. I said, when you want to sit here and say, why can't we make voting day a national holiday like every other country? You get off work and go vote because then the majority of people would vote Democrat. So Republicans are
exactly.
I said, these are the things
That's
the
why they put
Democrats,
those laws in.
playing these games with
what I'm
them.
saying.
I said, and all I'm, because Cory Booker, prime example, when he said, when the Republicans were passing, I think it was the Epstein thing or something, and he was like, and you saw Cory Booker, why are you doing this? I know you. You're a good person. Why? While the Democrats are walking out, because they're like, we're not going to be a part of this. We'll just close out. He was like, you're a good person, yell at one of the Republican guys. And I'm looking like, and that's y'all damn problem. Because me and you work together, and me and you might have a little powwow, a little kumbaya every now and then, and we might pass a couple of laws together because you gave me what I want and I got what I wanted. You thinking I'm still not this diggerish type of person.
Exactly.
Until something has to show you. I've been this 40-year-old white man sitting here, and now you talk about you're a good person. Why you doing? Go back. I forgot what they was the Democrats walking out. And Cory Booker saying it. But that's what I'm saying. So when you look at that Nancy Pelosi handing that stuff to Meacham them, because you the homies. All us know each other. Okay, we're gonna move with this. And I was like, you can't get nothing done because you got these fools right here blocking all y'all little piece of stuff when y'all should do what they do, veto power. But see, I'm gonna say this real quick. And when they were saying, well, why didn't Obama do the same things Trump is doing, right? Why didn't Obama, his last day of office, put in reparations? right? And me and somebody said the same thing because they was like, wrong, that's the kind of thing that pissed me off. Like when we're talking about the American races, just be real enough to say, okay, majority of people prejudice. They ain't racist, but they prejudice. And so it's like, I told people, I said, imagine if you'd have did that. And I was talking to the person. I said, no. Regardless if you say, oh, he's president, imagine if he'd have did that. Any of the things you saying he should have vetoed and override Congress on. Before he left office, he should have did reparations. All the stuff y'all saying. They won't leave this man alone, and he ain't even did that. So what you think would have happened with him in Congress? I mean, still as president, and when he left.
But
They would have been riding his coattails. You damn near better hope they didn't assassinate this man. You get what I'm saying? And that's the reality. I said, and that's what I tell people. I said, do not get it twisted. That if I acted the way Trump acted, they would have dragged this man. They would have already kicked him out. They would have already did everything they could to excommunicate his ass.
No, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna give you a little pushback on that now. I give you saying regardless, whoever it is, Obama, whoever, I would have loved to seen executive order for us. Now I have seen
white man you see gonna do it?
I have seen
white
Obama
president
did
you see gonna do
executive order for Native American, and I've
Ooh,
seen it.
preach it.
Hold on.
And I've seen it for Asian.
Yeah, what happened with Biden?
No.
What happened with Biden?
Definitely for Asians.
Yeah,
exactly.
It definitely Asian.
Come on now.
So now,
Preach it.
don't get me wrong, I like Obama.
No. I'm not talking about you against it. I'm saying, okay, when he did that, how much support did he have when they passed that Asian law? Because they gonna get plenty for them people. And when they did the Native American one, Congress gave them support even when they did it.
You're right. They did.
They
give
them support.
True. That's facts.
I'm gonna get in trouble for what I'm about to say.
Talk about the reparations. Them white people be in that Congress ready to blow.
Listen. You are 100% right.
Yeah.
They definitely supported.
They supported it.
But my thing is this: you got to use everything at your disposal.
I'm with you on that.
Dude, when you do that, you gotta pretty much pull a Trump tactic. Look here, get on the public media and say, look, I want to do this, but they are not allowing me to do this.
Okay, now you saying you want to do that. Okay, now you saying he get on the public media and Obama said, look, I'm trying to pass reparations for black people, but they won't allow me to do it, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Now, how many white people you think would have been in the media on TikTok and on our side saying, yeah, let's do this. He trying to stop all them same 70 million people that voted for him. How many of them white people do you think would have turned court on us to not pass that damn law?
Here's what I give. This
don't matter.
This is when I give Trump
Look,
credit.
I'm with you. I'm saying
it don't matter.
This is the one time you're gonna see me give Trump credit. Trump doesn't care. He just fucking does it. He doesn't care that people are trying to kill him.
Yeah.
He don't care that people are trying to go after him. He said, I'm going to get my agenda done no matter what it takes.
But hold on.
And Obama didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And all these people that they want us to vote for every single year, they don't want to do that. And so you get the same result.
I'm gonna tell you,
the same thing that keeps happening will continue to happen until we start to fight.
I'm going to tell you why. So what Trump is doing
real quick before you go on your
time.
thing.
Okay.
Sometimes if you look at history, history has always taught us that sometimes it does take death in order for things to happen.
It has to be disruptive.
So listen,
you
can't be scared. If you want to get into politics and you
want
to talk about you're fighting for the people, really fight for the people.
Stop
this pony show.
I'm in complete agreement. Shit, the quote on my phone is sometimes to get peace, you got to start a war. You understand me? But I'm also sitting in the place of looking at it like, okay, I would have been, I won't say the N-word, but I would have been the N-word that would have vetoed shit. I would have passed reparations, but I also would have been the person that knew the same way Trump, a lot of his things right now are in court. As he knew it would be, because that was another tactic. I'm going to pass these laws because I know they're going to be in court. But while you're fighting them in court, and I cause confusion amongst Americans, and I disrupt economics amongst Americans, half the stuff he knows is going to end up getting kicked back unless it goes to the Supreme Court, because that's the way he's been winning with the Supreme Court, that he is stacked. Because every lower court says this is against the law. So he know if I get it to the Supreme Court, it can get in my favor. So Obama them doing it, I said, even if he wanted to do this shit, I knew as if I was president, I would have did the reparations. I knew they would have played and they would have took it to court. They would have battled it just like they. And look, how much you want to bet them same Supreme Courts would have held up and not give it to us?
To go back and as what you said about Foz, if he did it on TikTok, how many white people this and that? To be honest with you, half of them don't ride with us anyway.
But that's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't give a shit.
But no, that's what I'm saying. But you're saying you wanted public opinion. It wouldn't have meant they wouldn't have given it to him.
But you see how many people
Congress
go
went
against Trump.
against him, the same way he just said, Trump gonna call you out. I want to do this and do that.
Yeah.
He gonna. I would have used that same tactic. I would use that same what they call boardroom bullying tactic.
Yeah. Even if it saved my brand, I would have said, I'm trying to get you to think. Even if it saved Obama's brand, I would have said this.
Another thing what you said, you brought up another good point.
Shit about him anyway.
Exactly. You brought up another good point about Foz. When Trump stacked the Supreme Court,
there you go.
And he got the House and I already knew this.
Every damn
That's
thing he
why
do, he gonna
Time
pass.
Life had him as a king wearing a damn crown on the cover magazine.
He stacked it.
Right? So this is the thing.
And who did that? The damn Democrats let him get away with that doggone stacking the Supreme Court. Because they was blocking every damn thing. Barack and Biden. And they old girl didn't step before she died.
They told Biden, I knew you talking about it.
Ruth Ginsburg.
They came to Biden and said, dude,
pissed me off.
Hey, put some more Democrats. Well, no, that's not Biden. He totally went against
that bipartisan
bullshit. Fight, guys. No. They don't fight. All they do is get up there and hold their positions of power. And we were talking about money.
The Republicans hold it by fighting.
We need to start hitting these senators and these elected officials where the money hurts. Every time you don't get something back, every single time you don't get something passed, we dock your pay. Every time you don't do something, we dock your pay. You know, they always are doing this stupid shit where they're like, "Oh, we're not going to pass the bill, and we're not going to to fund the government." Well, they're always doing this shit.
Oh, yeah, they always say, we got to do it right before Congress lets out for the year, the fiscal year, all that bullshit.
Every time you don't do something,
Republicans always
we dock your pay. Yeah. We need to start doing that for real.
We need to give these term limits.
I guarantee you shit will start getting passed when you start taking money away from
I'm going to say this
There's another way stuff will get done, but I can't say that
right now. As black people, with all the lackadaisical shit that goes on with the Democrat Party, you almost can understand. I'm not saying, of course, everybody voted their own merit, whatever you whatever your interests are. You almost can see why some black people are Republican because, for one, obviously you are in a different tax bracket. That's safe to say.
And that's why majority remain in that bracket.
And at the same time, you're looking at like, damn, these people over here aren't really doing nothing, but these are. The Republicans are being bulldogish.
That word is best at all.
I know, right? Bulldogish. They're being bulldogish, and they're fighting for their constituents. And you're not saying that all of them gonna like you, but if you are making a certain wage, you already know, hey, hell, it's in my favor. It's in my favor. Even your boys said something because Trump. Went at Charlemagne, right?
Yeah, I saw
about
that.
What was it about?
And what does he not have a problem doing? Lying. Exactly. Everything he stated was a lie. Charlemagne's doing everything you said was a lie.
Yeah. But even he said, look, I know the big beautiful bill would benefit me because I'm in a certain tax bracket.
There you go.
But it's going to harm. I'm thinking about other people. He said, look, I'm all right.
Yeah.
And I say that to say this. It almost makes you see why. And I've met black people who are Republicans because they are in a certain tax bracket. Yep. And then Republicans are one fighting, getting in the mud, doing this where they have to. Because like you said, if they don't, everybody going to be Democrat. And they're going to be, they're going to be the lower side. But they putting all these things in place when the Democrats ain't really,
but that's the only thing that what trips me out about the black people who are Republican. Like I said, I'm an independent. I voted for Republican. I voted for Democrat. I was like, the issue I got with a lot of that going on is like majority of people, and let's be real, some of them people who probably tell you they're in the tax bracket lying. Right? Majority of black people that in this tax bracket, like I told people, I can vote for a Republican. My tax rate's going down this year. Majority of people aren't. So when I see black people that are voting that way, I don't care that you vote that way. Make it make sense. Don't vote that way because you see them out here getting it in the mud. Because there's the thing, they're not even fighting for their own constituents because majority of people that vote Republican ain't nowhere near six figures. Okay? I said, but they're voting for the people who gonna get them paid. These Republicans are making a killing right now. And the stock market, they're sitting on committees that they literally have stocks in. Okay, you talk about conflict of interest. They are making money, making killings. They putting their homeboys in the government contracts. Elon now grossed almost $2 billion off of us.
You saw what old girl,
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Marjorie,
Yeah.
When he tanked the stock market,
Yeah.
she posted all the stocks that she bought.
Then she tried to go after. Then she tried to say something slick about him, and people was like, "Sit down and shut up." And that's what I'm saying. But see, the thing I want to say before we segue, which I love that Trump is doing.
What's that?
Right. And because he's always done it. But now it's on like a more magnified scale. Because I want us to get to talk about the labor and statistics. Okay. I said more magnified scale. It's because when you got all these, the Joe Rogans, the Kevin O'Leary's, all I'm coming out now, oh, Trump is, this is a problem. We can't do this. People are like, oh, they're speaking out against him. Because what he's done is expose all the reasons they really voted for him. He's exposed them all for they was okay with his deviant behavior with women. They were okay with him being a lying businessman. They was okay with him literally trying to decimate the middle class like Reagan did. They were okay with him like not respecting people of color. I don't care how he looked out when this little rich man looked out for your black tail. Some of these celebrities like, oh yeah, so-and-so was good to me that one time. He's exposing them for exactly who they are because there's like, it's not voting anymore. It's your ideologies. And that's what he's exposed. So I love it because now they all trying to, because especially with him denying the Epstein files. When he was in it. That's so now blatant. You look like you okay supporting somebody who literally was okay with somebody's sex trafficking. And I will say this, it is going to be sad. And I feel so bad for all the victims that were hurt during with Giselle and Epstein's whole reign. Because if they let that woman go, that is some foul shit. Yeah. Because them victims are getting no justice because this dude so-called unalived himself in prison. And my thing is, if ain't no records, why am I in jail? Because if I'm her lawyer, that's the way I'm coming. If there are no records, why am I sitting in jail? And that's why they not moved this woman to minimum security prison now without nobody knowing. I said they are going to let her go, and that's going to be sad because these people are not going to get no justice, all because of who you voted for somebody who's going to look out for their own ass, and I ain't mad with it. Because why would I look out for me when I not lied and had the DOJ lady play it herself and got rid of evidence? They're telling you they will do what they need to do.
If they let her go, then that's blatantly in your face. He had something to do with the Epstein file. And Democratic Party, y'all better get off your ass and play dirty. Because they do not. Trump out there DICK swinging. In your mouth, not in your mouth. Y'all better get off your ass and play dirty.
And it's going to be sad if that happens because I'm going to feel sorry for them people. But that's some foul mess if that go down like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We'll be here.
All right. So let's talk about the labor statistics. I'm going to play this clip. This is from NBC. Here we go.
I believe the numbers were phony just like they were before the election.
Trump's first BLS commissioner, William Beach, says it would be impossible for a commissioner to rig the jobs data.
The claim made by President Trump is that the commissioner led that conspiracy and was basically shaping the data. That is not possible, in my view, and in the view of anybody who's served in that position.
I believe the numbers were phony.
All right,
just
so
like they were.
That was in response to him firing, the statistics woman.
Erica McIntyre.
Erica McIntyre.
McIntyre Fur.
Yeah, you about to put all the F in there.
The guy that he had said, it's impossible to do that. What are you guys' responses?
You know what this remind me of?
What happened was the tariffs, we haven't really felt them. And this is the first time it's like, okay, hey, something's happening.
It's going to take a while.
And so, but everybody's like, championing the tariffs right now because they just did this deal with the UN and all that stuff. But yeah, what do you think? Go ahead.
Even on this of course, I guess this is on a federal scale, right? Is that safe to say? Even on a local scale, they do this. And they showed you this on, if you're familiar with The Wire, where they call it juking the stats. From the mayor on up, or crime rate is down, which sometimes that ain't true. Our unemployment rate is down and employment is up. They always juke the stats. And Trump already, you already know he's going to boost anything he put his hands on, regardless if it's good or not. He even said, if it's a good economy, it's mine. If it's a bad economy, it's Biden's. So they fired her, but because he wants someone who can lie and say inflate the numbers. I remember one time one of his administrations, During one of his administrations, I think his last administration, he was saying something about it was something with numbers. It was something about the count or something. I think when the votes or something, and he was like, why did they just stop counting? Why are they still? He said, well, because we have to count. Yeah, this was the last when he lost to Biden.
Yeah.
Why are they still counting? I mean, the votes already in. They said no because we got mail-ins still coming in. Everything has to be officially counted. So Trump, with him, obviously, numbers don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything to him. So
Right.
they want to juke the stacks. He want to find somebody who's faithful enough so they can lie and they can inflate things and say, oh yeah, the economy's doing good and the numbers look better.
Yeah. All right,
See,
Veronica,
that's the thing
2 minutes because I want to get to your book. Yeah,
the
go
thing
ahead.
that people better understand, the firing of this woman. And that's exactly what he wants to do. He's putting somebody there because, see, people just look at, oh, these are just statistics that they're messing with. No. These statistics feeds into hedge funds. These statistics feed into our credit reporting ratings overseas. These statistics allow corporations to lie to you. See, the marketing that comes from, oh, if I can inflate job rates and I can say inflation is not bad or tariffs didn't do good, I can make you think the economy is good when you like, well, wait a minute, why I only got $2? Right. Afterwards, then something go, and then that still can help them control minimum wage. See, people, and then so if you look at when the Bank of America guy that you sent, and he over there said a whole lot of nothing. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to alienate his homeboy Trump them so they can make sure they look out for them because he acts as if people are going house to house taking these surveys. They're not doing it. You have the IRS reporting to Bureau of Labor Statistics. You have payroll companies reporting to them. You have corporations reporting them every month. So these are, and they allow a margin of error, which that's how he only got those different numbers because literally the labor statistics has it built in where you can go back and they say, okay, we'll adjust now because we got valid numbers versus they told us 20,000, but they technically reported it was only 18,000. Right? So then they say, oh, her numbers were incorrect. No, it's exactly what it is. Because if you laid off, 300,000 black women alone, right, in the government this year have lost their jobs. We're not counting white men. We're not counting white women yet. We're not counting black men. Just 300,000. That's just the government sector. Then you're not counting for all of these companies that closed down. And so they only added these 50,000 jobs or 73,000 jobs last month because these people aren't hiring. Tariffs is already hitting all these people who don't understand how tariffs work. We are paying tariffs. All them bullshit ass deals that they're doing is exactly that. So I was at a conference real quick. So it was between the U.S. and the Brits. We were at a trade agreement, literally 65 people in this room. And we're talking about $300 and something billion trying to stop this from bleeding. Okay. So when I tell people, I know what I'm talking about because I'm in the room. I was like, we literally have something called dominious. Okay. And your contracts, in trade contracts. So I had a client who went from her shipping was 19,000. When Trump did that tariff thing, her shipping went to 37,000. She's a small business. She cannot afford to do that. Right. So now when you say people are feeling it now, because see, we were still living off of manufacturing in the first quarter. We about to feel it blow us up even more now. It's about to get bad now. And so those same people who say, oh no, he added 154 million, they celebrating the tariffs. I said, you celebrating something we paid? That's the ignorance of what people don't know. Like you're celebrating that coming out of American people's pocket. And so people are trying to survive, not because they doing excursions and eating Starbucks every day. Their car insurance now went up. Their property taxes now went up. Gasoline now went up on them. Groceries went up. The everyday things, utilities have went up on people. People are not out here splurging and they ain't got nothing to do. Rent is through the roof because corporations are buying homes. And all of this is why they got the consumer fraud, why they got the EPA, why they gotten, now Bureau of Labor and Statistics. He's stacking his people to lie. So what ends up happening, the credibility from corporations go down too. Because if I can't trust JP Morgan Chase and I'm Bank of America, because now we know we riding with a liar, and you not pad your statistics, I not pad mine. We don't even trust each other. And then that allows them to take their money overseas, and get better deals. But now our credit rating overseas ain't crap now because Moody them just put it out. Our credit report dropped. They don't trust us. Don't let no UN fake deals be getting you. They don't trust us. And they still got the deal coming in 2027 where they going to get us even more for tariff taxes. People don't understand, firing this lady is so they can hedge numbers and make themselves look good.
Yeah, that's what it is. I knew it was going to take a while to hit their pocket.
No, it's about to hit because the little backdoor stuff is going off right now for August and through the rest of the quarter. It's sad.
I think Trump is just,
a bad businessman.
all the things that he's doing that's terrible. And people are just breezing over it because
they can.
I saw today, he went out on the roof just to make a spectacle. He started walking around on the roof. People were like, "Why are you up there, Mr. President?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm making it beautiful." And they're like, "What does that mean?"
But he's not at a cognitive decline.
Yeah. And he's like walking around outside, and it's like, all right, but that they're making a show of
one thing
he's distraction.
One thing you can say, he does know how to market his bullshit. He definitely knows how to do that. Rather be walking on the roof or walking with his detail and to go out to a church and hold a Bible upside down. For whatever reason.
Oh yeah.
So
he's always done this.
He definitely knows how to do
Like one
that.
thing I said in the book was rich people don't need facts. They need confusion. Because if I keep you confused, if I keep you trying to figure out left from right, if I keep you out here fighting with your child, and we could segue into the book in this, if I keep you fighting with your child, because remember last year when they were passing, the Republicans passed those laws where your child, now even if they go to school, they can work regular 8 hours. Oh, I'm sorry, they can work regular 8 hours. I'm sorry. When they passed that law in Florida that if your child is 14 and up, even if they go to school, now they can work a full 8 hours a day. Right?
At 14?
Yeah, 14 up. But they sign, their parents sign work waivers and stuff. Yeah, so they passed that in Florida. Passed that in
Florida backwards anyway.
They passed it in the number says they ain't backwards. Let me tell you what they're doing. Because if I never raise minimum wage, now I'm getting you to fight with your child. Because your child, $7.25 to your child looks really good, doesn't it? So I'm getting you to say, and if you're a lower income family and you're like, hey, we need this money because they carry us over, you're going to let your child go to work. Yeah. So now your school-age child is at somebody's job at 16. Because remember, you couldn't even handle pizza places out of ovens and stuff when you were 18. Now they can at 16. Yeah. So they don't want to increase your wage for you to be able to live. What they want to do is make you compete against your child with laws like that. Because remember when your girl Nikki Haley, you need to retire at 75 and 80. You know what I mean? Remember when she was sprouting that?
With ageism,
Yeah. So they're literally trying to make you fight against your child for money. And then a poor family is going to make their child on average go to work.
And you're going to
that child is going to be tired.
And a house, they're going to take more taxes. Yeah. That's more taxes you pay.
And your child is too tired to focus in school. Yeah. So now they're not getting a good education. The whole thing, you cutting PBS and all that was to keep people ignorant and uninformed even more so. And that's the whole thing. Because they want you running to that 1%. And that's what people don't want to see. Like, we put this circle plays over and over, and it's ridiculous each time. And especially when it comes to dividing us. So, like, we can segue to the book now. Just how I was talking about. So, when I talked about various chapters in the book, it wasn't talking about, like, I tell white people, this book isn't about you. It's about things that you have done with white systems. Thank you. With white systems. This book is about giving us a history from when we first started here to now and how to play against this system. You get what I'm saying? Like how, so when people ask me, like, why did I get the title? Why you shouldn't eat from some white people? I was like, when I was in school and I would write papers on different government entities or laws or things that were happening. And every time a black person got an understanding or implemented, like whether it was business loans or bankruptcy laws or homestead acts, they would switch up the rules. And I equate that because my mother said she didn't eat from white people. That was a lot of black people's take back then. Like my grandmother taught her that because during my grandmother's times in the 30s and 40s, she was like, if we took anything from white people, they could have said we stole it. So she said, I taught my children, don't you take anything. But a lot of it was down to my mom saying no, because we learned white people can't cook. Or they're not as clean as us. You see what I'm saying? So they learned, don't you eat from white people. So I took that same understanding. It was like, when you want to give us something that's benevolent, like integration, it decimated us. I don't care how people feel about it. Because before integration, we had everything of our own because they didn't allow it. Yeah. They didn't want us mingling with them. And the psychology black people don't realize it was that I need acceptance so bad because I have been conditioned to believe white was better.
If that's when they felt they made it.
Yeah. So they forced white people to take their money and took it out of their neighborhoods, And then you didn't even realize a systematic way they were bringing drugs in our neighborhood. Yeah. You didn't realize a systematic way they were giving us over high interest rate loans because we were doing what they said to do.
Guns.
Working hard. Hard. But see, even guns were prevalent back then. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't used to shoot everybody on the corner. Everybody had a gun in their house back in the day. It was used for your protection or to go and you worked on farms, stuff like that. It wasn't used in no ghetto. When they talk about ghetto, Irish people was in the ghetto. That's the only reason they started welfare. It was never because of us. You understand?
Oh, yeah. None of that stuff was for us.
So none of it.
Food stamp, none of that stuff was
right.
So they think that stuff was for black
But that's
people.
what pissed me off when black people want to act like we're so far removed. We just started getting money like 50 years ago. Let's be real about this. Black people just started getting money 50 years ago. And so we're still trying to find our way and who we are and how we moving. But once, like we talk about the Democrats not being loyal and moving, it's the same way black people aren't. And I do not care how white people feel about each other. To a certain extent, white people won't ride. They say, what's the greater good? And that's what they've been doing all this time, is riding with each other. And we lose that because we're saying, kumbaya, I'm here. Like I had a white guy, he was telling me, a black guy, and he was dating white women. And he was like, I just feel, we move past that. Like I look at me and my woman and black women, because he was talking to black women, I just looked at because they use us for fodder. And I told him, I said, well, you should be thanking black women for the fact that you can marry a white woman. I said, so even when you don't think we made your life better, we did. And he was like, nah, I know what you. I said, if it was not for, and that's damn near everything in America, if it was not for that white man wanting it, you would not have it. That white man wanted to marry a black woman. That's the only reason interracial marriage is legal. That white man wanted to live his gay life out loud. That's the only reason you got LGBTQ rights. But we missed that thinking, oh, you think you did something? Because we was fighting for equal rights. Because we paid taxes. We wasn't even fighting to be part of this stuff. We didn't fight for integration. We were literally fighting to get our vote heard because you were taking our taxes. We were never fighting to be integrated with it because we had our own. Why am I fighting to be integrated with you? We had our own stores, our own hospitals. We were making money. We had that money circulating in our neighborhood. So when I was looking, I said, we got to stop all this infighting, thinking you better because of this, and we didn't, and we celebrating all this stuff, when we really don't look at, we playing in the hands of certain things. And I look at black men, like right now we arguing online, like when we talk about the trick daddy, and somebody asked me about that, when he was like, black women, I'm not dating no woman who under 35 and all this, and I'm looking at this black man. I don't even want to say what trick daddy look like, because but I'm looking at this like, y'all demons out here sowing dissension amongst us when we ain't got time for it. They're literally trying to erase the history our people fought for. Some of them our grandparents fought for. And I'm like, he can erase all he wants. We still know the truth. But with the erasure comes, now we got to fight harder to get back where we were at now financially. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? So when I had a black dude who was celebrating that those black women lost their job, talking about, oh, now all y'all 300,000. I said, okay. I said, do you understand the money that took out of black neighborhoods? Do you know how many of them black women probably head of their households? Or how many of them black women who was married and 50% of their money paid for everything that was in that household? I said, so why are you celebrating? You better understand the way they're trying to purposely decimate us. This whole thing with Trump and a lot of them, it's about messing our black money. I don't care how you want to play it. I said, when he got an NIL, that's what my homeboy called me. He said, you right. Because why you in NIL? Majority of athletes is getting paid what color?
Black.
There you go. So why you bothering with the NIL? The whole setup, you find all them government employees, because that's the highest rate of government. Black people is employed by the government. You around here coming after all the DEIs. Now you got what the colleges saying they can't even recruit for DEI initiatives or certain HBCU colleges. The whole thing is to mess about money, because like he said, the Mexicans were taking black people jobs, right? You think that was just something his slick self was saying? He trying to have us out here picking tomatoes and cotton. But I am my ancestors. I'll burn that whole farm down first.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I said, but that's what we got to look at. So the book is about like us joining together. I understand like each chapter ends with next steps. Like for some people, like, okay, what do I do? How do we get this better? How do we do these things? And it is us joining together. I don't care how you feel about it, but don't bring the ops. Like when me and Josiah was talking about when Candace, I'm going to leave it there because I don't even want her name in my lips. When Candace said something, he was like, but she was right. I said, how many black people have said what Candace said? How many white people, even Bill Maher has said what Candace was saying before Candace said? Candace is like a fireman who start a fire and come back and burn the building out and say, oh, we shouldn't have did it. She's an arsonist. But she's also somebody who says, whoever buying me, I'm riding with. Because if Trump them take her back, she'll come right back with them and ride back with them. That's why I don't like, we got to stop bringing in the ops. Like when I was sitting there writing a book, I said, damn, how many times we've been destroyed by people in the house? It was like The Godfather. It was like Carlito's Way. They all was destroyed from the inside. It's the same thing. When you look at Denmark Vesey, Nat Turner, it was always the inside of the house because we so forgiving.
That's how
and
the
we so
government
understanding.
do. Yeah, COINTELPRO.
Yeah.
They always infiltrate inside.
Yeah, but they had to find somebody who all they need is a little more
sell
hug
out.
than we do. You know what I mean? When I said that, and I was sitting there, I said, I go hard on black men because I said, they don't even want you to understand how powerful you can be to ride with your people, and we'll step in line with you even more so. You know what I mean? I said, when you think them breaking or trying to break black men to a certain extent, and what the, like the penis envy syndrome and all this other stuff, that's because of that. But we don't want to hear it because, it's coming out somebody a black female mouth, or she judging us. Because I told him, I said, black vagina got us out of our bondage. Black phallus keep us in bondage. Let me say that again. Black vagina got us out of bondage. Black phallus keep us in bondage.
Like you said, the white man love black women?
No, listen what I'm saying. Remember, we wasn't no human being.
Mm-hmm.
We was property.
Till
they slid up in there.
Yeah.
And then you started seeing, damn, let me leave some land. Damn, let me free Mary. Damn, and mind you, these were people saying us. You see what I'm saying? We wasn't sitting there willy-nilly, and then we were doing it to protect men. Because remember, they said, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to beat him if you don't sit here and roll over. And think about letting a man see you doing that to his wife because you ain't got no option. You see what I'm saying? So let me educate my children, and I had on her. You get what I'm saying? So they sit there, you had them fighting for us, freeing us, everything else, because they wanted us, right? And then you get free, and you got men who started, I'll say, from Jack Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You out here losing all your wealth that you could have changed your family's whole narrative because you couldn't stop sleeping with white prostitutes. These was no quality women Jack Johnson was messing with and losing his money and going to jail.
You talking about the fighter?
Yes.
He was married to a white woman.
I
think he married like two of them.
And these were...
No, she said he's sleeping with prostitutes.
No, they were. They were white prostitutes. These women weren't no quality behind white women. He was wifing up and dating. He was losing his money going to jail.
He said he married some prostitutes.
That's what he was. They read his history.
No. I know they were white.
Yeah,
but
and he kept going to jail because it still wasn't legal. Like I said, he kept going to jail, lost his mind. You got Sammy Davis Jr. Frank Sinatra had to step in when the mob threatened to kill him because he wouldn't stop messing with a white woman. Think how crazy you got to be. I was like, you literally sit here hand over all. We don't want to talk about the recent things, the 23 million that left out of your boy hand. Because I'm going to try to let his story die down. But you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I said, when you look at that, you literally handing people generational wealth because you don't have no discipline. Because you don't have enough high self-esteem to say this ain't where it need to go. So when I tell you, you guys sitting out here, you got from one of the COOs of Netflix, white, black. You got Melody Hobson, old boy from Star Wars, black. That money going in the black communities. We like, hey, bro, so you riding with me. You got to be able to give this up. You got to do this. You got to bring this to the table. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to understand the power and how they playing in your face as black people. And so I talk about all this, like marriages for white people.
That was
that's
inspiration
great.
for your book.
What?
What all you were saying?
Like some of the stuff, like I talk about stop dressing up the fat. So I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for that. From these black people, lose some weight and be healthy. Yeah. But I put a lot of personal stories in there. So that chapter I talk about, how my cousin, who's like my sister, who passed away because of weight loss issues.
Gotcha.
But we tend to dress that fat up as black people. Oh, I look good. You know what I mean? Or it's sellable. And when I had to educate some of them, I said, you do know that the plus size models getting paid the same way them anorexic ones that was getting paid during the Victoria's Secret times. They're getting paid to maintain an image to you. Them girls can go to the gym and lose that weight and put in some work, but they're getting a check. So the same way I judge them women selling that super skinny stuff is the same way I'm judging you because it's unhealthy.
Talk about the dick discipline, as you put it. Because I feel like right now, I mean, we see that with a lot of black celebrities. They just don't have it. What happens is, what happens is that like they do get around these people and they just can't control themselves.
But it's not that they can't control themselves.
It's like, man, like you said, 23 million.
Yeah.
No. He straight up retired that girl.
Yeah.
That girl got retired.
But you notice how these tend to be the men who lead with this false bravado and a chest. I'm King Kong, Shaka Zulu, King Dingaling type of energy mentality. And you see how the way you always keep getting humble? From your Damn Dashes to your Kevin Samuels to your Diddy's. These people always like this, but people let them get away with it because, one, you cut them a check. One, they in the space and they can reap benefits from it. One, they don't want to seem like the punk dude. Be like, yeah, I got that same energy you got. I got that same energy you got. They don't ever want to call them to task. Like, remember Eminem? He said it best on one of his songs when he caught an overdose. And he was like, you have a bunch of yes men around you who kill you. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so you sit in these spaces because they don't want to accept that you don't have to adopt that white patriarchal bullshit of why even Trump won. Because he made white men feel powerful. He made them feel seen. He made them feel like what they had been groomed to believe white in America should be. A rich white man with a foreign wife who can talk shit.
That's pretty much what he is.
And that's what they've always said. You got to be, you got to be John Wayne. That's when, remember, they was trying to have him run for office. That's why Reagan won, because he was all them characters that was just, I'm Wild West, I save everybody. I said, and that's the same thing. Unfortunately, a lot of black men adopt that was that bravado too, of you had to be in the street. You see what I'm saying? You had to hold your own. And you got some black men who are really good dudes, and they had to adopt street mentality to survive.
Oh, yeah.
And so you would see them self-medicating with the marijuana, self-medicating with the, drugs. Same way you got black women who strippers. I don't give a damn, pick a stripper. That Negro is doing something, substance to self-medicate. That demoralizing-ness. Real talk, because I've known enough of them. I said, but we sit here with this, and it's the discipline, as I was saying, because if you've always been around yes men, or you always feel like, oh, I got this money, nobody can tell me what to do because I'm not them in America. I'm me in America. Yeah. I'm not black, I'm OJ. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I said, they wrote OJ till he had to have an NDA on his deathbed for his children to sign. I said, so you sit here and you try to adopt the persona they got, it doesn't work for you. Because one of the things I felt, even with the Shannon situation, was you had all of them white men who in that arena with him, businessmen who like him, we cool, all that. Now they looking at you like, so shit, you would have did that to my 20-year-old daughter. That's how they looking at him. Even though some of them dating them young gals too now. But that's how they looking at him. So you would have did that to my 20-year-old daughter. It don't matter if old girls are OnlyFans. All they know is you, big chocolate, dark-skinned man, got your ass in the air while this girl dead bugging you.
Well, a white girl would be.
But that's what I'm saying. That's how all of them saw. Those white men saw him doing that to their daughter. So when you got to understand, you can't play these games like Diddy. Diddy got away with it since college acting like this. The women covered for him. The men covered for him. He paying all them. Right. Think about how you got to sit in a space and you do all this and people still trying to back you so they don't lose their checks. He could have been doing all that under Revolt. He could have been building Revolt. He could have been building up all the schools that he wanted to. Now you around here now lost Ciroc, Revolt. You got your house you got to put up to try to get out of here. All because you couldn't sit there and get help. You want to sit out here and do baby oils and watch these men have damn sex competitions. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And everybody around you not want to say nothing because either they fearful, they like, look, I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Because of the money. It's the same thing with R. Kelly. There was a producer who actually said, and it was in a documentary, he said, I don't give a damn what he do. You know how much money he bringing in? Yeah. They actually said, I'm sorry, an exec, a record exec, that they all knew. They said, I don't give a damn what he do. Yeah. You know how much money, and eventually he gonna get caught. I'm gonna ride this pony till they fall off the cliff.
But see, that's something I talked about in the book too. You know, the same reason those execs didn't care is the same reason you got violent criminals get let out on bail in the black community. Yeah, it's money and bail. Bail, they make a ton of money off letting these criminals out. But you know what also they do? They let the animal back out in the wild. So he's gonna cause anger. He's going to cause crime to go up. He's going to cause dissent. He's going to cause fear. He's going to do their job for them of bringing down the value of that community, stressing black people out who are in that community for whether he robbing them or whatever crime he did. And then he's causing them to be able to say, okay, let's wait 2 more years. He's going to bring that down. And they're going to get him anyway because he's coming back into the system to do his time, which they're going to use him as free labor because that's what they're doing now. The fact that they're mad that prison rate is low. They mad that the prison rate is low because we feed it. You know, but that's the same reason why them execs let R. Kelly back out to do what he want to do, and they don't care. They let They let what's your boy name? The baby oil, Diddy. They let the Diddy oils out. The Diddy oils.
Damn, you really walking that brand.
Right. No, sell it. They let the Diddy out because they keep hanging. Something I'll tell y'all off record. I'm not saying it here because I don't want other people to run with it, but. They let them do it because it keeps bringing down the value. And now I got you in a chokehold. I got something always on you. Yeah. You can't be mad. You got all this bravado of how we need to move as men, but you can't control your bullshit. You can't go get help. These people aren't broke. They could afford help. You know. So when I say stuff like, why are we still using the N-word in the book? Or I say like, who's us, who is we? Or when I say, okay, one chapter say why we should care about Africa. We around there arguing right now, us against them. You know, because some African people say, oh, y'all ain't got no culture and this and that right there. We literally arguing.
Did you address that Because there are some Africans who don't care for us.
I addressed that in a book. And one of the things I have to tell people the history on that. So when they started, trying to BS us about paying us back for everything, so-called reparations through DI initiatives and job initiatives, one of the things they did when they said you have to hire or at least interview a certain amount of black, why you think those H-1N visas increased? They were hiring Africans. That was their quota for us. Okay, so then you got Africans coming here in the 80s, 90s, stuff like that. You had them coming over. Now, mind you, they see the same marketing that white people were seeing about us too. We around here, we on the street corner, jive turkey, BS shit. They're seeing the same marketing. So they're thinking we lazy, we don't want to work. They're like, man, look at this. This is a land of milk and honey. While they're going through what they're going through in Africa. So then they came at us with the same thought process that bigoted white people had about us. And then they did the same thing Indians did. They did the same thing a lot of Asians did. They sided with white people because now the enemy is us. Notice how everybody's enemy, right? And so when I talk about that in the book, I was like, but now you look at it and the fact that you still got it going on, the separation, the arguing, y'all ain't got no culture, but you over here. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. I said, when they robbing you in your own country and they robbing me and the one they brought me to, we still getting got, bro. Both sides of this. And we the ones with the resources. That's the trippy thing.
Yeah. They show statistically the wealthiest blacks in the world are us so-called African Americans.
Look, but you got billionaire Africans because they out there taking all their resources. Y'all got all the resources natural over there. We over here with the cultural resource and how we getting got by both sides. Yeah. And fighting with each other. So when I tell them the power of connecting, we do not have to call ourselves African American. I'd be like Black American. You know what I'm saying? I'm on that shit. I'm like, because if you want to say we ain't part of this, but I know my ancestry, my history. Yeah. I said, but if you want to separate, okay, Black Americans, African, because that's the name. I don't want, give them the wrong name. But we got to stop this arguing. But a lot of people have to stop cosplaying us. And a lot of them do. You see what I'm saying? They black, they American black until they in them corners with them homies, and they all of a sudden you from Nigeria speaking Igbo, and that's what we gotta stop playing them games. Don't put me on when it's time to eat over here. Exactly, that's key. You get what I'm saying? Don't put me on, and so that's the thing we gotta look at. It's like how are they robbing both us while we fighting? Yeah. So I talk about all that. Stuff
off the record too later.
Yeah. So I talk about all that in here, and I address certain things that people are not gonna like.
So you make me. I need to buy this book.
I got
I need to buy this book.
One thing, because I knew you were working on this book for a while,
and I had to get it off.
How long did it take you to write?
I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Because I remember you was doing interviews. You interviewed me at one time.
And it wouldn't have. I would have finished it. I'm gonna tell you real talk. When Obama was running. Mm-hmm. And I had a clothing store at the time, and my clothing store was in a predominantly white area in North Carolina. And at the time when he was running, I would have white people come into my shop, and they would say, I just want to apologize to you. I said, what are you apologizing for? Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, I had Essence, all the magazines with Obama and his wife them in my shop. I don't care. You gonna get this work coming in my store. Mm-hmm. And they was like, I didn't realize how my friend, my family member was racist. I said, there was no need for you to know until something came up. Right. Yeah, And so I started writing, and literally, I'm telling you, the spirit was like, don't finish that book. Because if you finish it, he won't get elected. I'm telling you, it was saying, because the title alone, now, the people that was going to elect him, they might be off-putting. The same thing, as soon as we start talking about reparations, you see how they be sliding back. I'm with you, Con. Yeah. But I don't know my brother. You know what I'm saying? Because they swear we taking it out their pockets, personally. And so then I put it to the side, and I was adding to it, then start changing policies, just different things. And I would have still been sitting on it because I believe in research and adding. And so one of my mentors, this guy, that he'll pull me because he's an overthinker too. And he deals with a lot of big corporations. He was like, Veronica, stop. Stop. He said, perfect it as it goes along. He said, you can come out with a version 2. He was like, get it out of your hands. Now. And I had to get out of my hands. And I was like, and literally the spirit was like, drop it now. Because everything I want black people to understand, you're going to have your subset of people who will not ride with you. That's everybody. We got to ignore them subset. Like Jesus went from 72, 12 to 3. Okay? You got to know people you can trust. I want us to understand the power we have together. We have literally built internets. We built market evaluations for companies, and we have no earnings from that. We don't own barely a piece of it. We built that whole T app in just a month and shot that white guy's valuation up. You get what I'm saying? And all because y'all want to just be caught up in mess talking about dating? Do you get what I'm saying? We built Facebook out. We built TikTok. We the most interesting thing on the planet. The fact that we keep laughing is the reason we ain't killing y'all. I'm just being honest.
I know, we influence cultures.
And but we influence them, but we got to look at what we bring in. We were the one creating, immunization. You look at the fact that you're sitting there with Henrietta Lacks sales still getting paid. You got corporations making billions of dollars
but
off
her family's
this
not
woman.
making no money off
No,
of
they
that.
put the money in a trust after cutting her family a little bit of money because the white lady who wrote the book about 10 years ago, I think it came out 10 years ago. She worked with her family to get some type of financial reparations. Yeah, so they gave them millions while they put the rest into trust. So like even the title I talk about black racists, you got some black people that don't like black people. I address all of that. I was like, your child can't read because of you.
There's plenty of black people who don't like N-words.
Yeah, like one of the chapters said the government doesn't care because you don't.
Yeah.
So it's going to be how hard you put a foot on that senator's neck, that counselor's neck, for you to get change in your community. Like it's an organization, not even organization, it's a guy in Charlotte. He owns hundreds of properties. Black guy. He owns strip malls, all that stuff like that. And he teaches black people how to get that, get real estate and build it. Literally, they bought up all this that they were going to gentrify. Now all that's owned by black people.
That's good.
All the shops, everything there. And I was like, we have to understand working together. I don't care about the subset of people on the fringe. Let them go. Yeah. I'm not burning my energy top of black and white, black people relationships no more. Like, oh my God, what we going to do? Learn from it. Stop getting on the T app. And say, what do we do to try to make each other better? Yeah. Like you causing too much hate and it's feeding people. It's people, you getting confused and distracted while this man is sitting there stripping stuff away from us.
I have another question.
Go ahead.
Has any white people read your book?
No, so it's all just shipped out. So my white friends who already know me, they already knew it was coming. And they already knew the baseline of it, because when people hear me talk a certain way, I was like, if you don't know me, I don't care. Right. And that's just the way I've always operated. You know I'm like that. Because I was like, I come from a place and wanting everybody to succeed. I don't want no white person to be beat down. I don't want no Asian person. I don't want no Italian or nothing. Right. I want you to live your best whole life. Leave me alone. Right. That's the whole thing. They can never leave black people alone. And so when I say these things, like when you take the white community that's being built now, what is it, Arkansas?
And the Ozark in Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas. Like they're building that community. We just want to live together. Let them live together.
Hey, I'm all
but this
for
is
it.
what I tell people. How you want to escape the problem when you the problem?
Right.
Because we ain't bothering you. The Mexicans ain't bothering you. The Haitians ain't bothering you. The Asians ain't bothering you. How you can escape a problem when you are the problem?
And they can be on their lonesome dub with white culture,
look,
whatever
I
that
just
is.
feel the people that live around that area, make sure none of my tax dollars is going to pay for this town that want to be for their own. Yeah. Make sure no police department my taxpayers is paying for. Make sure no fire truck going out here, nothing go down. My taxpaying dollars is not paying for them because they want to be on their own. So establish your own.
How long you think that'll last?
That thing gonna blow up in a year.
You think so?
Because I'm gonna tell you, they're gonna be like Walking Dead and Negan. Because the egos. Yeah. They're going to be sitting there, well, who going to be in charge? Who going to run this? Because it's in the nature they've been taught. You see what I'm saying? And so you going to have somebody say, yeah, this is our leader, this is our follower. You think that's about to be kumbaya?
Somebody, I saw on social media.
What happened with the money? That's what they're going to start saying.
That's going to turn into a cult. They're going to start
drinking Kool-Aid.
SSA and the women and
look,
the young
I was looking at that. I was like, it's about to be some hillbilly hoedown going up in here. When I was looking at them buildings, I said, long as you ain't bothering me. Yeah, I even talk about integration of us never integrating. And how that would have looked for us to a certain point.
I think that hurt black folks.
Oh yeah, man! Look! The hurt wasn't the hurt, but what it's hurting us because we understand that right now. Like in Dead Man Walking, if we continue on the pace we're on, when Forbes came out with that article years ago saying the black medium household income will be at zero, and what it was 2053 I think at the time. No, it was in 2053. It was 2030 something. Say our medium household income be at zero. Now that's before all of this was stripped away. So now not only are we fighting to get back where we was at and maintain. We're going to survive because we're survival people. But how are we going to look in 4 years? Yeah. Because I can tell you that income already shifting. You decimating white people with 6 figures now. White people I know who got 6 figures can't eat. They're looking crazy. They're like, Veronica, I'm stressed about my bills.
Right.
So yeah. So that's why I want us to get out of here working together and being okay telling the truth.
So that's what you want them to take from your book.
Yeah, work together. Just be honest with each other. Work together, build together. I don't care if it's just you with your 5 or 10 people. Work together. If it's just you and your wife or you and your homie, work together and work for the collective. And don't get mad if somebody ain't on your road. If this one right here talking about Palestine and this one right here talking about black liberation, long as we get into the same end game, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I feel like. Everybody road ain't the road.
And this is it's for everybody, but
Yes.
it's mainly for your people?
Yeah, it's mainly for my people, but I want the white people to read it too, so you can get a type of understanding. Because a lot of real talk, they only know the history we know. So when I tell people, I'm not mad at white people who don't know history. They know the same history we knew. They were taught the same history we taught. So then when stuff started coming out, and they was like, well, damn, I didn't know that. Think how many Jewish people were shocked by how Israel got that land. Jewish people didn't know. They didn't know that came by way of World War II. They didn't know that.
Well, they thought God put them
right.
in the land.
You understand me? But they was like, they didn't understand. We had Jewish, because I had Jewish friends. They said, Veronica, I didn't know it was laws in the U.S. where we were paying for Jewish people to go on pilgrimage. They didn't know these things. So I said they were taught the same thing. White people were taught the same Christopher Columbus, George Washington story we had. But that's how, another way, like I said, Trump won, because when truth started coming out, and then they started to see, you the problem, white man, you the problem, white man, you the problem, white man. That's defensive. Because you like, well, I ain't even been around. But that's the thing. It's like, so a part of it is educating them to some of the things they didn't know. Like a lot of people don't understand redlining ain't new. You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of them don't understand how Black Wall Street towns, that's what we need to talk about. So before we leave, when I said about the black phallus keeping us in bondage.
Just turn yourself more towards the camera.
So when I talked about the black phallus keeping us in bondage. So one of the stories I mentioned there was how Wilmington burned down, right? So you all familiar with Black Wall Street?
Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yeah, and Wilmington, North Carolina burned down. So when people don't understand, it was like, white people were jealous, they burnt us. I said, pause. Because people don't understand how the mecca of Wilmington was with black people and white people that were broke. They worked together. They had put black and white people that were low economics in the Senate, because all of them was Republicans at the time. They put them all in these Republican seats. So black people and white people who were poor was getting their stuff done and handled. They were working together, putting each other in councilman, all these different positions, sheriff, everything, right? So that, of course, upset the white parties. So the white man's party came because this military officer named Waddell, his name's all over Charlotte, right? So he started the white man's party. He said, hey, we got to break this up. They working together. They doing all this, and they black people building money, and the white people coming up, all of that stuff. So what he started posting in his newspaper was, your black men are raping white women. Right? He started telling them, y'all want to leave this party because they raping white women. We need to come. And then he had some white suffragist women. That's why I told you, I don't rock with that white suffragist female stuff. They was right there like, yeah, they're animals and they're attacking us. They try to approach us. Had all of that in the newspaper, right? So it was a black man who owned the only newspaper in Wilmington. His last name is Alexander. He wrote a rebuttal. He said, we are not attacking white women. This is them trying to separate us, right? So instead he stopped there. He goes on to say, white women are coming to us consensually. And within a week, all the white men had left the party. And they burnt Wilmington down. So instead, because you thinking me and you homies, because me and you broke together. Me and you not work together to put each other in these Senate seats and as councilmen and everything else. You think I still saw you as equal. You still think I wanted you sleeping with my women. So you felt cool enough. Now, mind you, let me preface this. Five black politicians told him, don't put that part in the paper. He did it anyway. And he had to run and hide. All the white businesses that did business with his newspaper dropped him. The white guy that owned the building that he lived in with his newspaper kicked him out. He literally had to run out of town overnight because they started burning Wilmington down. You get what I'm saying? Your ego didn't want you to see the truth of how you and me partners. We partners in this money. I still didn't see you as equal. Because how many times we've seen documentaries where the white guy was like, I ain't got a problem with the Negro. I just don't want to live next door.
Yeah.
Right? He literally put that in there after 5 black men told him, don't put that in that paper. So people don't realize a lot of that could have been avoided. Because they wouldn't have left the party. They would have been riding with you. The white people wouldn't have had a chance to burn Wilmington now. But because you didn't want to understand the psychology of where you was at in that doggone tear. That's one of the main reasons Wilmington burned down. And do you know Waddell, the guy who was head of the white man's party that burnt Wilmington, held a sheriff to gunpoint. This was a white sheriff, took his position, and he was the one that started Jim Crow laws. See how that worked?
Yeah.
Literally played into that man's hands. His name all over Charlotte, high schools, everything.
Yeah, Wardell.
Yeah, but that's what I'm
Still
saying.
to
Like,
this day?
I know a black man named Wardell.
yeah, I know we some black people named Wardell. You know, they try to strip some of it, which they did. But I was like, he was an integral part in Jim Crow. After he sit there and separate, like I said, white men and black men who were poor were working together before the Fred Hamptons, before all this. There you go.
Very, very, very few fall in between.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was very few and far in
Very
between.
few.
So that's why Wilmington was so big. Yeah, I talked about that in the book. That's why Wilmington was so big, because at the time the Republicans and Democrats were flipped on what their beliefs were.
And I can't wait to read it. And you said some personal things?
Yeah, I put personal
So
stories
ain't
in it.
nothing but me in it. is
No,
it?
ain't nothing but you in it. You was not that important to me, brother.
Okay, thank you.
Look, I put in here like, remember when that dresser?
All right, guys. Once again, this is the Black Summit.
Yes.
Oh,
Can you tell people where they can get your books?
Oh, yes. So you can get the book on my website, and next week it'll all be on Amazon, Barnes and
Please
Nobles, and
hold it
books.
up for
Oh,
the camera
you
so
can
you
get
can
the
see
book
it.
on my website right now.
Hold it up. The
Oh,
thing's
yeah.
blocking you. There
You can get the book on my website. I hide my pretty face to do this at Dame Media, DAMMI Media.com. And next week it'll be at Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, everywhere. But right now you can get it at my website, and we still have signed copies. So I did make some personal to people. And we did over 150 in July
Congratulations.
pre-orders, which I am thankful for. I want to thank all my supporters, all my people. Y'all know I ride for y'all. I ride. I take these blows. So thank y'all, Black Summer, for having me on. And, you know, we'll look at some excerpts being read out here. So.
All right, cool. And we will definitely have the link in the link down below in the podcast, so you guys can, go ahead and cop a book from Dr. Veronica Pearson. Why you should not eat from sun.
Oh, look, wait a minute. He got two preppy.
Why you shouldn't eat from not all, but some white people.
Right, some
Why
white people
you
now.
shouldn't eat
Some,
from
you shouldn't eat from some black people too.
That is true. You shouldn't eat from some black people too. You shouldn't eat from some people, period.
Look.
Trust and believe. I don't eat from him.
What? You don't? Damn, Josiah.
Let's end the podcast. Let's get on, bros.
I'm
Damn.
Hendrix,
And I'm Veronica.
And this has been a Black Summit, and we are out.
Peace.
Peace.